Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the War Lodge for tonight's matchup between the Sequoia Chiefs and the Bradwell Institute Tigers. We've got a great one on hand for you as we are in GHSA playoff mode for the Elite Eight. Of course, we will have the boys game coming up later, but right now we're going to focus on the girls in action. Joining me is Hogan Dyke, that's Mr. Will, and also Max Swain. Guys, thank you for being with us. We've got a great one on tap and looking forward to seeing what these Lady Chiefs can do to defend the War Lodge.
That's right, Will. And just to give you an idea of what both teams have come through to get to this point, Sequoia beat East Paulding 56-33 in that first round, and then Houston County 49-39 in the Sweet 16. And then going down to Bradwell Institute, so they beat Westlake 72-64, and then Decula 53-44.
And we know that Decula team's really tough, Max.
Yeah, they are, and what really did it for Bradwell Institute is their smothering defense. So this one is going to be really a show off of their defenses. We know Sequoia all season long, they've had a full court press that has destroyed teams, dismantled opponents. And for Bradwell Institute, they are the same thing. They get steals nonstop, they pressure the ball. It's going to be interesting to see which offense adapts better and scores against the defense better.
All right. Well, we're about ready to get set with action here for you. We want to thank you for making us your entertainment on this Wednesday night. Settle in. We're going to be here for a while. We also want to thank Barbara Lackey Financial Group for allowing us to bring you this game. So thank you to them. They'll be our title sponsor for the evening. We'll also read out some sponsors later in the broadcast as the teams are ready here. And you will hear the crowd in this one. It is a bump in place right now. I've never seen the War Lodge so full here. And it's not surprising for an Elite Eight. Not normal for two teams to get in. And we're ready for tip. And Bradwell wins the jump. And as you were mentioning, the Sequoia defense going to play a little bit of zone, but they have a very good defense, and Bradwell only averaging 51.3 points per game coming into this one.
That's right, Will. Sequoia is projected to win this 58-51. You know, Sequoia's best quarters are that second and third, but Bradwell Institute has a strong fourth quarter.
Very good tip there by Susanna Rogers to poke it out of bounds. Excuse me, that was Ella Blatchford there.
And you're going to see that all game from her. Blatchford is known for reading passes and getting steals on a dime.
Once again, Bradwell keeping it outside of the key here, trying to find a hole in that very good zone defense. We were talking before the game, guys, about the Sequoia defense, watching some film. You guys have been really ready for this game. And you hear the crowd there.
And one thing to notice is that there's no shot clock. We've said it a couple times in these games. There's no shot clock, so they can really work on the Sequoia defense as much as they need to.
Pretty good shot up and off, and the rebound once again, and finally knocked away. Let's see who it goes to, and it will be Sequoia's ball. So very good defense there from Sequoia, staying calm, forcing the action inside and defensible. It was Tanaya Bowman who's averaging 15 points per game with the shot there.
You know, as good as Sequoia's defense is, their offense is that much better.
Wide open three just off the mark there. Amrita Singh on the shot. Another shot, and that one's no good. Trying to put it back up and almost finds the mark, but doesn't. And on the inside, Sequoia will take the rebound. Quick drive here. Inside pass, beautiful inside. Oh, and draws the foul there. Good start here for Sequoia. So to the stripe goes Tafton Barber, averaging 2.6 points per game this year, but really known on the interior as that rebound getter, and obviously can set up a little bit of offense too with that brilliant pass to the inside.
That's exactly right. And Rogers going for the assist on that one. Barber wasn't able to get it, but she will draw the foul. And Rogers is the team leader with 144 assists this season, as well as 5 per game.
The first one is up and in, so we have our first score of the night. See if we can double that number.
And scoring is something you're going to see the Sequoia do a lot of. As a team, they are almost double what the national point average is, so they can really run it up on this team.
Up and in once again. And here we'll see the Bradwell Institute Tigers coming in, shooting 38% from the floor and 21% from three-point land. So they're going to try and get inside the paint a little bit, one would have to think.
And the Sequoia defense is going to be moving across the floor very fast. They're going to have to do quick passes and try to get the ball into Gilmore some.
And as you can see, playing the point here is Tanaya Bowman. She is the leading scorer here for Bradwell. Inside, nice pass and poked away. And Sequoia is going to have an option here. As once again, that's Blatchford She finds an open lane, up and three, and it's in. Susanna Rogers hammers it home. She comes in averaging 8 points per game.
Not only can Rogers give assists, but she can also score points. She's the third highest scorer on the team this year.
Another three. That one's off the mark, but gets her own rebound, puts it back up, and from two-point land, that one will go. Good job there by Bailey Gilmore getting her own rebound and putting it back up to convert the first points for the Tigers.
And standing at 6'1", that's a little easier to do than some other players on her team.
Yeah, we were watching film before this game, and we were amazed at how tall she looked on the court compared to all the other players.
Fight inside, and we'll see where it goes. It looks like Brad will retain possession. Will take possession. Yeah, guys, and you're right. Bradwell Institute's not a particularly tall team, especially if you're looking at the screen right now, guys. You'll see that Sequoia has quite a few taller players, but that 6'1" body inside is going to be something to keep an eye on with Gilmore playing down low. This Sequoia student section fired up, long three, that's no good. Aaron Jackson on the rebound. So Sequoia doing very well, not letting them get their own offensive rebounds. Once again, this is Blatchford. Going to be running point on this. Aaron Jackson, wide open three. Bang! Fired up. She takes back to the defensive side. Big timeout here from Bradwell Institute, and I think that was about as good of a start to the game as you can have, gentlemen.
Yeah, she's one of those players where with a crowd like this and a student section like this, she is going to thrive off that energy. She's a people kind of person, and you love to see it.
Saw the fist pump there coming back to play defense, Will.
That's exactly right. And, you know, the Bradwell Institute defense is something we were talking about. But in the early parts of this game, Sequoia is saying, hey, that's not a problem for us. We'll still get wide open threes and make them.
There you go. 4:48 left to go in the first. Our score 8-2. Thank you all for being with us here on this Wednesday night. Once again, thank you to the GHSA for allowing us to bring you this action to your home. Of course, thank you to all the staff at Sequoia High School, and especially the AVTF classes for putting this on for you here at Sequoia High School. Truly something special that you find here at Sequoia that not many places you will get. So make sure you drop a like and make sure you subscribe to keep up with Chiefs TV throughout the rest of the other sports, because basketball's not the only one they do. Football, streamed some lacrosse last night, so you're going to see a lot of different sports if you are a Sequoia Chief fan. Bradwell going to try and set up a little bit of offense. Good passing there, back and forth inside the zone, tipped away. Bradwell finds it, and a great puck there. That was Susanna Rogers there on the defensive play. And the foul draw there, as that was Kaisha Harrison, the freshman Paris Parham with 9.4 points per game coming into this one. She'll go to the stripe for a free two.
You know, Will, the player to watch for Bradwell Institute is Tanaya Bauman. I mean, she leads the team in points per game at 15.3, as well as assists and steals. So she is really a multi-threat on that court.
Yeah, and one person we think we have to mention for Bradwell Institute is also the girl at the line, Paris Parham. She's a beast under the goal, kind of assisting Gilmore in some duties under the basket.
And there's 2 free points there, so 100% on the night from the stripe for both teams. And you were talking about Parham there, who just converted those two as a freshman.
Yeah, it's amazing to see how much talent this team has. Only one senior starting.
Aaron Jackson goes up top, gets that pass. Nice screen set there for 2 and 1. Playtime.
And Will and Max, that is the player to watch tonight. She got 1,000. She joined the 1,000-point club earlier, so if she can get 500 this season, that would be something as well.
As a junior.
Yeah, that's incredible. Most of the time, your seniors get the 1,000-point club as she converts the three-point play, and that 1,000 points is typically something that comes at the end of your senior season. So very impressive here from the Chiefs to start. 4-11 our score, 3:50 on the clock and winding down, and that one off the foot will go as a kick, so Bradwell will maintain possession. Of course, the best part about playoffs is you kind of introduce the sport that you're playing to a lot of different groups here. So hopefully we can spread some education and learn something ourselves. A little uneasy to start, and that defense for Sequoia continues. Loose ball picked up, and now it's going to be given out to Blatchford. Wide pass here.
And Rogers with 2 steals already early in this one.
Quick drive, no good on the inside. Quick return here from Bradwell, but defense set back up quickly on the opposite side. That was Susanna Rogers with the miss.
Yeah, Rogers hustled down quickly after that to not give Bradwell any holes on the defense.
And that's the key. Effort is everything when you're playing a defense like this. Wide open 3 there, just off the mark, and the rebound picked up by Aaron Jackson and given to Blatchford.
And, you know, Will, you talk about effort. For the seniors on Sequoia, notably Blatchford, Jackson, and Darber, they're playing like every game is their last because they don't know it could be.
And a foul. As we've got some substitutions coming in here, I believe the first of the game. And Blatchford's going to take a rest, and Sophia DeMauro is going to come in and take over duties from here. So that was a loose ball foul. Wide out to Aaron. Bradwell playing some good defense now here on the backside. But Sequoia having some really good passes. Wide open three, just off the front of the rim. Susanna Rogers just a little bit off to begin this game, but good defensive play from the backside. Quick pass and poked away, but Sequoia will retain possession. So Bradwell saves themselves from the quick turnover play, but they are going to have to play defense back on the other end.
And Will and Max, something we talked about pregame was how Bradwell has their smother defense to set up for a lot of fast breaks. But so far, Sequoia's been doing an excellent job of getting back after they lose the ball.
Here, nice point.
And Davies and Jackson headed to the bench.
So keeping the bodies fresh as we got 1:40 left here in the first quarter. Poked away there. Inside the paint. Nice pass again. And that was about as good as you can do it. Nothing you can do with the defense there. 3 really good passes from the Tigers, and they have drawn distance.
And that was
Gilmore, the only player on the court for Bradwell with points. She's at 6 of the team's 8, so she's having a good night so far.
And that was interesting just then. It was Blatchford on Gilmore. That's an interesting matchup. Blatchford known for her ball handling and guard play, while Gilmore is known for not necessarily her ball handling, but her post skills.
Saw Blatchford there, get pickpocketed a little bit, so the Tigers will take over. Just over a minute left here to go once again, 8-11. The Tigers not a terrific three-point shooting team. Quick passes, but that one did not find the mark. It was intended for Tanaya Bowman, as you were mentioning, Will, a very big part of this Tiger attack. But nothing doing on that one.
Bowman has not scored at all. And, I mean, it's almost the end of the first quarter, so for Sequoia, that's a big positive, keeping the lead score to 0. But for Bradwell, that's the player you want to see kick-started going into the second quarter.
See Blatchford inside. Oh, just goes in. And that'll send the lead back out to 5 with 30 seconds left here to go in the first.
And that was a beautiful pass by Gaddis. Powerful. She's a forceful player.
Sequoia with a quick turnover. Blatchford on the breakaway. Lays it up. And in it. That's the second three-point play there.
And that's the second time the Chiefs will be sent to the free throw line in this quarter. We saw Barbara get sent to the line early in the first quarter. She made both of her free throws.
Johnny's New York Style Pizza, Riverstone Homes, Studio 5 Salon, and Suntex Marinas at Little River.
He did those first few off the top of his head. I think y'all got
We've been doing this for a while.
I can tell. Of course, notably absent is Chase Schaefer, where our thoughts are with him. Of course, he wasn't able to be here on a Wednesday night, scheduling conflicts and such. So, Chase, we miss you, buddy. Hope you're watching, and thank everybody out there for tuning in. None of this is possible without you. And, of course, it is a big deal here in Cherokee County as River Ridge, as much as I hate to admit it on a Sequoia broadcast, River Ridge is also in action in girls and boys games as well. Now, if both of those teams win and the Sequoia teams win, they would not face each other in the Final Four. They would face other teams on the bracket. We'll get into that a little bit before halftime, but we're going to send you back down to the floor here as we get ready for the second quarter of action. 8 minutes back up on the clock, 8-16 our score.
And one thing I think we need to know is that Susanna Rogers had 4 steals in that first quarter.
Big part of that defense. Big part of that defense. Quick up shot, just off the mark. Aaron Jackson tries to bring the rebound down, and Sequoia's going to retain possession. Oh, nope, he corrects himself. Fooled everyone in here. Now you hear the Boo Birds come out a little bit. Have to commend the crowd on a Wednesday night coming out, supporting their teams.
It's the first time in Sequoia history both of the boys and girls teams have made the Elite Eight and hosted a game.
Blatchford looking for Jackson on the inside, just missed the mark.
You know, Max, that really is a treat because it's rare that a school even gets both their boys and girls teams in. So the fact that we were able to get to the Elite Eight and host a game, I mean, that's pretty special.
Host both games even.
Yeah.
I mean, that's particularly the thing. Of course, River Ridge also following up with that as well. So you have those years in the county sometimes where everything, the stars align, for lack of a better term. Hoping the stars align for the Chiefs here tonight. Inside, Rogers. And wow, surprised there wasn't a foul called underneath the rim there. But the Tigers will take over. 7:18 left to go in the first half.
And with Bradwell Institute's first possession of this quarter, they're really going to want to see Bowman get kick-started here. She was held quiet in scoring. Only 2 players scored for Bradwell that first half.
Long three from Parham. That one is in, so a good shot from Parham. She's up to 5 points on the night. Another long three from Jackson. That one is hammered in. Beautiful arcing rainbow shot finds the mark, and they keep the lead at 8.
I'm surprised that ball didn't hit the ceiling. That was a very high shot.
Jackson's 2 for 2 from outside of the arc now.
We mentioned Sequoia a whole 10% better from three-point land. So that will play in tonight. Blatchford once again, effort all out. Bradwell having a hard time setting up anything. Working inside, nice moves, finds the mark. Can't do it any better than that is Raymoni Bennett.
Beautiful moves.
Jackson once again finds an open lane, lays it up for the long 2, won't go. Quick turnaround here from the Institute. Aaron passed there, and contact with their own teammates. Friendly fire makes that one go out of bounds, and that's where the Chiefs will take over.
I know I've mentioned this a couple times already, but the Chiefs really are doing a great job of getting back quickly after they lose possession, not letting Bradwell Institute even get a footing before they're blocking them.
Yeah, and we saw on some film that they love to get back really quick and catch the opponent defenses off guard. So it's interesting to see how they haven't broken free that easily.
Once again, Blatchford sprinting back after the missed 3 from Jackson. My goodness. If you like effort, this is the game for you. Long 2, no good. Sequoia going to try and set something up here. I'd like to see him slow it down just a touch. Passing it back outside. Jackson attempted the last 2 shots, and that's going to be a foul on the inside. They've been letting them play a little bit, guys, which is normally how things play out in the playoffs. And we're going to see some substitutions here. Checking in for Barber is number 21, Abdus Salam. Nice move for the long 2, just off the mark on the opposite end. Quick game here, guys. A lot of running back and forth. Quick breaks. Nice on the inside from Salam.
And Bowman is 0 for 3 from the field.
We were talking about Parham, but Salam also a freshman, so a couple of bright stars for both teams here. Of course, that typically happens when you get to these level of playoffs. You don't get here by just having good players. You get here by having great players, and we're seeing a couple of those on display here early.
That's right. Will, you mentioned that it was a very back-and-forth game. It has indeed been a track meet, but both teams with very full and very capable benches, especially as we know on that Sequoia side with plenty of sophomores and juniors waiting to be checked in.
Sequoia owning the rebound battle here to start. As you saw there, Aaron Jackson coming back in, getting the rebound.
And, you know, Will, that's not something that was predicted to happen in before this game. You know, Bradwell Institute actually does out-average Sequoia in rebounds.
Gaddis checks into the game. Blatchford with the long 3 gone. And there's a turnover on the opposite end. Blatchford going to try and make a couple things happen here. Had the 3, decided to run back up and in where there was defense, and that won't work. And the Tigers with the quick break. No, Blatchford with the steal. Works inside and draws the foul. And man, oh man, you can feel the energy in here right now, gentlemen. So to the line for a free 2.
She'll get the steal, the bucket, and get sent to the free throw line.
A whole stat line right there.
4:24 left to go here in the second period of action. Our score 21-13. Once again, Elite 8 action here in the GHSA playoffs. 6A playoffs.
And both teams still 100% from the line.
Bradwell Institute having yet to hold a lead in this game. Sequoia's been keeping them at arm's length the whole time.
Did get within 3, but quickly changed that action. Sequoia going to play some tough defense, and they're going to call a foul. My, oh my. Guilty party will be Susanna Rogers. That's going to be her first foul of the night. It's been a fairly clean game when you look at the foul totals. It just seems like Sequoia's been to the line a lot more, and they have.
And you know, Will and Max, you know, we know that Sequoia likes to put on the press a lot, but we haven't seen them do that as much because Bradwell's been getting up so quickly, but they've been playing more aggressive defense, that's for sure.
Rogers, quick pass to Blatchford, inside, up and in. Can't do it any better than that off the quick break. Lead out to 11. Full timeout being called by the Tigers as we'll welcome you back inside the broadcast booth.
And that's just the assist leader to the scoring leader. It's simply that.
Hey, what else can you ask for, gentlemen? It's been an absolute honor here to start this one. We're a quarter and a half into this one. The crowd is electric. You can feel the intensity on a Wednesday night. What have you seen from Sequoia that you like? Will, I'll start with you.
Well, I think the defense that I was talking about, it's not necessarily back quickly, but it's very aggressive. And aside from that one foul called on Rogers just a minute ago, I mean, yeah, like you said, it's been a clean game. So that means Sequoia's been playing good aggressive defense, not sloppy aggressive defense.
Max, what about you?
For Sequoia, you said it before, right at that play right there. It was the assist leader and the points leader. They're playing their brand of basketball. They're not trying to adapt to what Bradwell is doing. They're relaxing, which is what I was hoping to see. They're playing their brand of basketball. It's extremely entertaining to watch because they're having fun while on the floor. Up by 9, it was close. Up by 11, pardon me. It was close for a second, but they took a deep breath, calmed down. It's their game to lose right now.
Absolutely.
And Sequoia is setting the pace of this game. They're not letting Bradwell come out and say, hey, we're going to see where you guys are. No, Sequoia's saying, play our basketball or go home.
Yeah. And that's typically what happens in the playoffs, guys, is when a team travels a long way like Bradwell Institute has, about a 2-hour trip, typically you see a team kind of come out and want to set the tone and slow things down. And we're seeing that right now as you take you back to the floor. You see they're trying to set up a little bit of an offense, but Sequoia not even letting them get close to the key. He can't even attempt a 3 from 3 feet beyond the arc. As they're going to work inside here, but once again, tight defense and the steal. Blatchford, just a little bit of a far pass, going to have to set up. Has the wide open 3 there, and just a foot short. Back up and in. Aaron Jackson with the quick rebound and score as this lead is now up to 13. 3 minutes and 20 seconds to go.
And that steal by Rogers is her 7th steal of the game. It is insane how aggressive she is playing right now.
You can tell they're fired up and excited to be here. Bradwell Institute just searching for answers. Been on a very dry streak here.
And we thought Bradwell was going to be the team coming out with smother defense, but Sequoia's been shoving their own game in their face.
There's an open 2, and that's just off the mark. Another offensive rebound and put back up and in. Good job there from the Tigers. Converting there was number 11, I should say. Excuse me. Back out to the top. That's Gaddis. Now back to Blatchford. Blatchford with the 2. Nice floater there. The lead is extended to 13, 2.5 minutes to go.
And with all the action, we missed it, but Blatchford did get her 500th point. She's now beyond that.
And
she's at 15 already.
15 with 2 minutes and 18 seconds left to go in the first half, gentlemen.
It's going to be Sequoia's ball now.
So as you mentioned, those 15 points, she will take a rest.
And Jackson's nearly into double digits as well. She's got 8 with a couple threes.
Yeah, the 3 ball's been very big here early for the Chiefs, as we've seen. Bradwell, we keep looming on it, but 10% difference from beyond the arc. And I believe that was a moving pick.
And, the 3 ball is something that Sequoia's relied on a lot. We mentioned national averages earlier. Sequoia's shooting more than 3 times the amount of threes as any other team is in the nation, and that's making, not just shooting.
Going to have a little bit of a discussion here at the bench. Not sure what the discussion is about. I don't mind the call of the moving pick. It was okay. Didn't see anything there. Not sure what the discussion was about, but whatever it was, the housekeeping is settled here at the War Lodge, and back underway we go. And Bradwell's going to look for any of those opportunities they can. They want to slow things down as much as possible. Try and get used to this gym right now that is very hostile for them.
That's exactly right, because like you said, they haven't really gone. It always takes a long time for them to find a look, and the look is always guarded heavily by 2 people, but that's the best look they're getting right now.
Kick there, so Bradwell will retain possession. I believe down there it was a little hard to see, but I believe that was Salam once again.
you know, the Sequoia student section is doing a great job of
Yes.
getting inside Bradwell's head, making chance for every play that happens, and just keeping it real inside this War Lodge with the noise.
Absolutely. Rebound there from Rogers. Quick pass. That one is out to DeMauro. Long shot just off the mark. That was Jackson. So we see Jackson liking to take the three-point shots here. Done fairly well to start. And Blatchford had a minute of rest, so that'll be enough for her. And we'll check back in for DeMauro. It's funny how that works with Blatchford. You can tell really a leader on this team, guys. Is always wanting to get back in there. Doesn't want to be on the bench long, just enough to catch her breath. And she's back in. Long pass to Jackson will be handed off to Blatchford. Wow, wide open look there in the corner, just off the mark with Susanna Rogers. Another quick put up there, just off the mark once again. That was Davies. And going to force the jump ball there. Possession arrow is in favor of the Tigers, but that'll flip it. So a minute 20 left here to go in the first half. Of course, stay tuned. We got the second half of action of this game, but also we have the Sequoia Chiefs, the boys team, as they will match up against the Kell Longhorns. A couple of stars on that Kell team that we'll talk about, getting ready for that second game. So get your dinner, get settled. We're going to be here for a while, folks. Excited to have you with us. Of course, I'm Will Cooper, joined alongside Will Hogendijk and Max Swaim. And of course, all of our friends here with the Sequoia ABTF crew. Bradwell Institute keeping the ball a little bit longer this time, and a nice shot there from the 6'1" Bailey Gilmore.
And those are her first points of the second quarter, so it's going to be interesting to see how they try to get her incorporated back into this offense going into halftime.
40 seconds running down on the clock here now, so we're going to try and burn a little bit of this clock. 11-point lead's pretty good to go into halftime. Blatchford, of course, has been the star of this one so far, as she is with most of the games. Although you do have to give Susanna Rogers a lot of credit on the defensive side. Erin Jackson with another three, just off the mark, just a couple of inches off. She's been that way in the last couple of shots. And there's a quick two, no good. So they're going to slow things down, 10 seconds left. And you'll hear the crowd start to count down for everyone at home. Salam with a quick up and in, and that makes the lead 13. And Bradwell's going to be content with that. So 17-30, our score here at halftime, as the Lady Chiefs and the Lady Tigers will head into the locker room and discuss what they need to do to bring this one back. Guys, before we take a quick break, I want to get your reaction to that first half. Will, I'll start with you.
Well, I think it was a great half for the Sequoia Chiefs. You know, we mentioned the defense a lot for both teams, and, you know, Bradwell was the team that we thought was going to come out with that really aggressive, in-your-face type of defense, and Sequoia was a team that started to do that, not relying on the press so much, but, you know, doing a little bit later, but having really aggressive, really strong defense. And Bradwell didn't get sent to the free throw line one time, so, I mean, they're playing clean, aggressive defense.
Absolutely, they are. Max, what about you?
I think you said it perfectly, Will. The 9 steal entertaining to watch. For Bradwell on the offensive side of the ball, I think, like you said, you need to get Bowman back into it and maybe get her some more looks at something. For Gilmore, she's getting the great amount of looks, but she's not getting enough looks, especially in that second quarter, because Tafton Barber was on her, Abdul Salam. That's hard for people to score on. Just as something needs to click for them against the Sequoia defense.
Absolutely, you're very right, Max. As you can tell, we're excited to be here, excited to have you with us. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll come back here in about 8 minutes and get you ready for the second half of action. And, of course, stay tuned, because we have another game after this one with the Sequoia boys team as they take on the visiting Kell Longhorns. This is the GHSA 6A playoffs we're bringing to you, and it is brought to you here by Barbara Lackey Financial Group. So thank you once again to those guys. We'll talk to you in about 8 minutes. Everybody, stay safe.
Wait, she reached 1,000 points.
Yeah.
Woo!
Well,
Snuck by us there in that first quarter, or first half, excuse me.
and I believe it's going to draw the foul on the inside there, and it does. Once again, that is Tanaya Bowman, and you both correctly pointed out she is the leading scorer for this club and has done so mostly from the stripe so far in this one, as it looks like her total is up to 8.
So a lot of whistles early in this first, well, I guess it's middle of the first half now, or second half. But none of them are going in Sequoia's favor. Bradwell already being sent to the free throw line. This is their third time. And Sequoia just looking a little bit gassed kind of right now.
Davies coming in for tomorrow. So 10-point difference, 4:17 left on the clock here in the third. And it's trying to see. So Sequoia is actually going to retain possession on that one. That was close right there underneath. So there was the first missed free throw of the night. The defense tightening up once again for the Institute. Which is what Bradwell has to do when you're down by 10 this late in the game. You've really got to take it all out and leave nothing in the tank. And they are doing a good job, but Blatchford so savvy with the ball. Wow, look at that.
And that's the second layup she's made where she's been like falling to the ground and just thrown it up there.
And it was a semi-quiet Warlodge erupted from that shot. Beautiful.
Shots like that are what keeps the crowd in it, gentlemen. Bradwell playing a little bit more sound offensively as well. Long three here, hammers it home.
And that is her first make from the field today.
And that's got to feel good for her.
Tanaya Bowman up to 11 now. So these players are starting to get to their average. Nice move from Blatchford. Out for Aaron. Wide open three. Just off the front of the rim. Try another three. Bang! And Sequoia going to take the quick timeout here.
And that's some good chemistry from Jackson and Blatchford. We saw it with Rogers and Blatchford, but, you know, this starting five can work well all around the board.
Absolutely right. We welcome you back into the broadcast booth. I'm Will Cooper, joined alongside Will Hogendijk and Max Swain. So thank you all for being with us here tonight. Of course, we want to thank Barbara Lackey Financial Group for allowing us to be here and bringing you this game. As we mentioned, 3 minutes and 7 seconds left here to go in the third. Gentlemen, this game's gotten a little bit tighter, but you look at the board and it's still a 12-point lead. You have to feel a little bit better about that. Max, what do you think about the start of this third quarter?
Well, I have to say, it's been a Blatchford show.
Yes.
Especially those last couple minutes right there. It was just her nonstop. Steals, layups, spectacular shots that you would see in a circus. She's just a different kind of beast. It's so entertaining to watch. And you said, Will, with Jackson, she has that chemistry. With 3 years with Jackson, pardon me, she knows when Jackson is off, she has the self-awareness to know when she isn't making her shots, and she knows when Blatchford is hot. 3 years with her, they are a great duo.
Will, what about you?
Well, looking at the Bradwell side of it, I think Bradwell's done a nice job of slowing it down to kind of gauge Sequoia coming into this second half. I mean, we saw Sequoia play very aggressive, and, you know, that might have taken a little bit out of him, so Bradwell's kind of slowing it down, playing their game again, going a little more reserved into this third quarter.
All right, we'll send you back down to the floor here. 3 minutes left to go in the third. 27-39 our score. That pass intercepted on the inside by Salam. Susanna Rogers going to try and slow things down a little bit. You have to feel like the pace of the game has really been set by Sequoia all game. I know you guys were talking about that in the first half. And Bradwell kind of shook him a little bit to start. And here's a three. Just off the mark, a little bit long. Good attempt there, and it's going to be kept by Sequoia. What an effort from Salam underneath on the miss.
And she is a fantastic freshman. We've been talking about her all year. The effort she constantly puts in and the great defensive fundamentals she has. She's 4 years more with her is going to be great to watch.
There's Davies on that last attempted three. Blatchford from the same place she made the last one, just off the mark. Tried to borrow some from the bank, but it wasn't open on this Wednesday night. Long pass there. Contested three, finds the mark. And Bradwell finding the three-point land gold. And that was Paris Parham. And she's now up to 12.
And Parham having a good third quarter tonight. I think most of the points she scored have come in this third quarter, and she'll move up to 12, so she'll get in that double-digit action for Bradwell.
And y'all, it's only a 9-point ball game. Even how good Sequoia has been playing this third quarter, Bradwell is right in it.
Minute 30 left to go. Nice move inside to Salam, just off the mark a little bit. Aaron Jackson almost gets a loose ball, but no. Contested down there, and it's going to bring the jump ball. And the possession arrow is still in favor of the Tigers. And once again, at the bottom of the scuffle is Tanaya Bowman. And she has earned her way in this game, gentlemen. Looking like a football player out there. Juking, diving, hitting the ground. Just all-out effort from the Tigers.
Yeah, Bowman and Jackson. We've seen Jackson come up with multiple fierce rebounds on that offensive side, keeping those drives alive and letting Sequoia get some bonus points there.
And when the play is over, you see Bowman kind of like grimacing after the big plays and physical plays she has. But right when the whistle blows to start play again, she gives it everything she has.
3 there, missed. That was Gilmore on the attempt. Davies outside. And there's a minute left now in the third. As you mentioned, Max, 9-point game. Nice move inside, but blocked. And stepped out on the back line. That was Gilmore, the guilty party once again. Checking into the game now is Raymoni Bennett. Checking out is going to be Kaisha Harrison. We haven't mentioned Kaisha's name a ton here tonight. Sequoia just going to try and set something up here. You have to feel like they're trying to run out the clock a little bit as you guys mentioned, swinging points, but that one's intercepted, and now with the loose ball, it's going to go Bradwell's way. So substitution here to end the quarter as Blatchford will come in. And that's really the run stopper there, is when a team starts to go on a run, you bring Blatchford back in and see that run come to an end a little bit. Needs some offensive production here with 30 seconds to go in the third.
And Sequoia only scored 9 points this quarter, so Bradwell definitely outscoring them. And I think that's pretty accurate. I think Bradwell's outplayed Sequoia, although Sequoia had a nice quarter. Bradwell, I think, obviously had a better quarter. Excuse me.
That's the 9-point difference. Is Sequoia played a great first half. Bradwell's played a great third quarter. So it's going to come down to the fourth. 5 seconds left. Fishes it inside, and a travel is the call. So with 3.1 seconds left to go, and the travel was called on Jackson there. That was a quick whistle. 3.1 inside, gonna have to put a shot up quick, gets it off and just off the side of the rim. So 30-39 our score. As we get ready for the fourth quarter of action, we welcome you back inside the broadcast booth here at the War Lodge. Gentlemen, it's getting a little close in here. You can feel some of the oxygen's been taken up out of the gym. But Max, let's start with you. What would you like to see a little bit differently from Sequoia here?
Well, I feel like they have been playing their kind of tempo the whole game. But the thing is, their tempo has kind of slowed down. But for Bradwell Institute, it's kind of sped up because they know they're down. They know there's only 1 quarter left. They've been trying to speed up the game. But they have come back in this game, which is kind of crazy because it doesn't seem like they come back in. It kind of that quarter was kind of Sequoia dominated. But kind of silently, just a shot from Gilmore there and an empty possession, a shot from Bowman. This is the game, and it's going to be interesting to see how it finishes.
Absolutely. Will, what about you?
Well, I think Sequoia needs to do what worked for them in the first half, and that's come out and play their game. They don't need to wait for Bradwell to see what they're going to do. They need to play at their own pace and force Bradwell to stick with them. I think when they did that in the first half, that worked really well for them. Bradwell did not look like the Bradwell that we've known and seen them, and I think if they can do, again, what they did in the first half, which is lock down on Bowman. Bowman was held to 0 points in the first half, and for the highest scorer on that team to be held to 0 points, that's an achievement by the Chiefs. So if they can do that again, Bradwell's going to have a tough time getting back in this.
All right, we'll send you back down to the floor. 7:55 on the clock. And the cheering you heard in our intermission there was a cheerleader war going on. A lot of flips going on there down on the side, but I think Sequoia won it, or at least they had the last word on it. So whatever that means for you.
We might see some more action and then some boys games timeouts. We never know.
Yeah, you never know. Respect the game. Respect the game.
It's playoff basketball. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. Nice work inside there, just off the side of the backboard. That won't go. Institute quick turnaround. Nice floater there. As we've mentioned, Tanaya Bowman starting to heat up a little bit. She's up to 8. Nice pass on the inside to Tafton. That draws the foul. So she'll go to the line for 2. Second time she'll take a trip to the stripe tonight. She was 2 for 2 on her first free throw attempts. Keep an eye on Blatchford's numbers there. She's up to 22 on the night. And that one is missed. That's on me. That's the announcer jinx right there.
Hey, when that happens.
Every time, man. Every time. 7-point difference here. You'd like to see that extended to 8. And neither of them will go. So Bradwell will take over off of that. It'll be interesting to see if Bradwell can keep up the intensity that they had. They played with everything they had in the third. See if they have another one in the tank. A long 3, rattles around, but no. Sequoia gets the loose ball. Blatchford quickly. Aaron passes it. Blatchford to Aaron. And now they're going to settle it down a little bit. Don't make any mistakes. Got to protect this 7-point lead.
And that's a good job by Rogers, captain, to be the one to say, hey, guys, let's settle it down. Let's play our game. Let's do what we can do best.
Right, we always talk about Blatchford with the points, but Rogers so far in this one has been so important. Little floater there just doesn't find the mark, just off.
It is not Singh's night. She was 0 for 6.
Yeah, Singh comes in averaging 4.8, but has yet to find pay dirt. Playing good defense there on the perimeter, though. Wow, what a shot from outside there from Paris Parham. Second 3 of the night. Blatchford with a quick turnaround, strike back. So the lead is 6, and the Bradwell Institute's going to take a timeout with 6:03 left to go, as the Chiefs will protect a 6-point lead. And this is where the game gets a little bit more tactical. You have those timeouts, you can't take them home with you. Somebody's got to go home after this. Of course, whoever wins this game will go on to face the winner of Kell versus Rome, and that game will be played at the University of West Georgia. So you're going to have to take a road trip down there. So the seeding really doesn't matter from there. It's more of a technical term that you're the home team. But nonetheless, playing for that Final Four spot, so important, gentlemen.
Yeah, and Blatchford doing a good job of, Bradwell pulled within 4 there. That's scary for the Chiefs. Considering that they've had to lead this whole game, Blatchford doing a good job of, again, settling it down, just using that experience, getting the easy points to get them back within the arm's length, which is where they're comfortable.
Yeah, the last time we saw them get back within 3, they quickly turned it around, went on an 8-point run.
Yeah, and that's the thing we've seen from Sequoia all season. They have that, honestly, both Sequoia teams, boys and girls, they have that ability to pull away right when they feel the opponent right on their tail. And,
a run is something that the Chiefs could really use. When Max and I were watching film, Bradwell Institute, we were watching their games and looking at their scores, and they did a great job of sticking with those teams, even going to overtime in their game against Westlake. So if Chiefs can start to get on a kind of a run here, that might be a problem for the Bradwell Institute.
Let's see what they've got left in the tank. And stepped out on the baseline. That will be Sequoia's ball on the turnover.
And let's just note this again. This is a packed War Lodge.
I have never seen, the auxiliary seating at the very top where you can't hardly see anything behind the other championship banners that Sequoia has. Of course, looming large is that girls basketball championship from 1996. Quick steal there from the Institute. They turn around and put it back up. They're back within 4. And they knock that one away. Blatchford trying to get it out to Rogers. Not converted. You can feel, once again, the Bradwell Institute traveled very well, gentlemen. When you see them do something very well, there's a large section of that crowd to our left. The camera's right that flies up there. And there's a tip. Got to get back. On the drive. No, too far. And it's Sequoia's ball. Playing with fire here with 5:29 left to go. And a timeout from Sequoia. I think that's about the best time you can call one right there, as the Institute had a couple of really good looks and they survived, but narrowing that lead down to 4, gentlemen. Things getting a little tense here at the War Lodge.
I can feel it. It is getting very tense. But that run by Bradwell had to kind of scare Coach Yarbrough a little bit, because they came out of that timeout, out of that third quarter with some sort of intensity, their hair on fire.
Yeah.
insane to watch. But if they keep that up, they have a heavy chance of getting their first lead of the game.
And this is a Sequoia team that is used to being battle-tested throughout the season. But when you look at their playoff record, it's been a little bit easier. East Paulding, they beat them by 21 points, and then the Houston County game was 10, so it was a little bit closer. But Bradwell Institute, on the other hand, has played two very close games. They beat Westlake 72-64 and Decula 53-44. Will, you mentioned that at the top of the broadcast there.
Yeah, and one of those games, again, going into overtime. But I think when it comes down to it, it's going to be the experience of these teams, and I think that's got to favor the Chiefs. I mean, their starting five have played together for 3 years at this point, so they have a lot of experience, and they know where they're going to be, and they got great court vision.
Nice chemistry there from Salam and Aaron Jackson to dish that one in, extending the lead back out to 6. 5 minutes left here on the clock. Long three, just off the front of the rim. Susanna Rogers going to slow it down here, as you mentioned, the captain for this team.
And keep in mind, we still have 5 minutes left, so there's still plenty of basketball to go. We're talking like it's almost over, but there's still a good portion of this game remaining.
And of course, don't forget after this game, we got a whole nother one, as we've got Kell versus Sequoia. That one from the key, no good. Good defense down low. And they're going to call the foul there on Aaron Jackson. No foul trouble yet for either of these teams. It looks like the most fouls for both teams are Gilmore with 2, and then also Aaron with 2. And worth noting is Rogers also has 2, but nobody in trouble yet, so that's good with 4.5 minutes left. You want to see both teams at full strength. Hear the crowd here at the War Lodge. Aaron pass, tipped up. And Suzanne Rogers going to get this one. Great defense here from Bradwell, putting the pressure on. Had the look if she wanted it, but wants to burn more clock. Heads up play there from Jackson.
Great play. She knows what they're trying to do right now. They're trying to control the pace and play, we've said it a lot, their brand of basketball.
And no play clock, so if they're not going to pressure you, just pass it around. Playing some good old-fashioned catch here.
And with Sequoia in the lead, that's advantageous to them.
Yep. And a hard foul on the inside. She'll go to the line for 2.
And you know what? Sequoia will wait for that every time.
Absolutely.
Pass it around. They have an easy bucket. Get fouled. They'll wait for that every time. They just got to make sure they capitalize on these free buckets, which they've done a pretty good job of doing.
Yeah.
And they got to make sure late in this one, because we've seen that Bradwell Institute has kind of changed the tempo and it kind of felt very tense. They can't let that tension force them to make bad passes. They're going to have to take as much time as they really need on those possessions.
Tanaya Moore has 4 fouls. She's not on the floor when we were going over the foul numbers just a minute ago, but she's up to 4.
And, you know, looking at the scoreboard, Rogers with only 3 points seems really hard to believe, but her brand of basketball is not necessarily in point scoring. Obviously, she can score points when she needs to, but the assist is where she's come in handy, and that's where she's come in handy a lot tonight.
And like Max mentioned, 6 steals going into halftime, so really coming in to play on that defensive side as well. As our lead here is extended back out to 8, a little bit of breathing room for the Chiefs. Going to attempt a 3 here. No good. And Sequoia doing a good job getting those defensive boards underneath now. Something they were letting slip away from them there in the third, but they've taken control underneath again. Once again, Aaron Jackson doing a great job so far in this game, obviously with converting her 1,000th point. Congratulations to her, but interesting to see her stat line at the end of this with all the rebounds and good things she's done underneath with the assists as well. You see Sequoia slowly eating away at that clock. 3:05 left to go in the final period here. Oh, wow. That's a football-type foul underneath the play there. As that was Kylia Tillman basically tackling Blatchford underneath, I believe. And while she was on the ground, gave her a nice little shove as well, just to let you know I'm here. But the clock reads 3 minutes even for all the folks at home. 8-point difference here, guys. And things feel a little bit different than they did the last time. The last stoppage, at least, I should say. So, once again, still no foul trouble, it looks like, with anybody on the floor yet. But it's what an atmosphere. I mean, you know, typically when we do these type of games with the playoffs, you always see an influx of crowd. But you have to give the Sequoia student section down here, if anything happens at the bottom of the key, we wouldn't be able to see it. You'd be able to see it better at home than we will, and that's exactly how we like it. So thank everybody.
Easily the
for
biggest
coming
student section we've had all year for any game.
Definitely.
Yeah, very nice to see.
And I can only imagine it's going to get even more packed for this boys game. They're going to pack as many people in here as they can.
It'll be interesting to see how many people Kell brings over. Of course, Kell quite a lot closer than the Bradwell Institute. Bradwell Institute, as we mentioned, a 2-3 hour drive, depending on the Atlanta traffic. Kell, not so much. On the north side of Atlanta, they're a little bit easier to get up here to the East Cherokee area.
We didn't play Kell at all in basketball this year, but I know some other sports we do play Kell.
Yes.
I know tennis did, and I'm not sure if we did in football, but yeah, they're definitely a lot closer than Bradwell is.
Yes. Kell has a very storied past. They are making the move down to 5A, so this will be their last soiree into the 6A bracket. Of course, we will update you with the River Ridge score once we have that one finalized.
And Bradwell's pressuring much more. They've caught on to what Sequoia is trying to do.
And good job by Sequoia. Still keeping the ball rolling a little bit. If they're going to foul you, let them foul you, but a whistle down here underneath. 25, the guilty party. And you hear the crowd erupt. So that was Kaisha Harrison. That's her third foul on the night. That was no ball foul. And, oh, Blatchford just stepped out there. She gets back to her feet a little hobbled, but she's okay. Blatchford is a special type of player. It's not a player you see on every team, and a large part of why the Chiefs are here and up by 8. 24 of the 45 points here for the Lady Chiefs. Hear the crowd roaring here at the War Lodge. Nice shot there, contested but beautiful put up by Parham. Aaron Jackson quickly taking it back, but good job by Blatchford, settle things down. Lead still 6, we're now under 2 minutes to go. 1:55 reads the clock, and rolling. Aaron Jackson at the top. And that's what Bradwell's gonna have to start doing. They're running out of time now, gonna have to start forcing the foul. As the guilty party there was once again Tanaya Bowman. That's her third of the night.
Not the highest scoring quarter yet either. Neither team in double digits. Bradwell just one away. They started the quarter at 30. Sequoia started at 39. So both teams holding each other at arm's length right now.
And one thing you mentioned in the beginning, Will, was that Bradwell was like not even on track to get to their points per game. And neither is Sequoia. I think what really is the highlight of this game and story of this game is that these defenses have really smothered each other, just dismantled the offenses. It's been a battle in the trenches. It's been super fun to watch.
The numbers don't lie, but sometimes they don't tell the whole story either. Wow, hard foul underneath there once again. And Bradwell mouthing a little bit with the officials there. It's something to keep an eye on. And they're going to take a timeout as the Institute with 1:21 left to go. And still holding on to that 6-point lead here. We'll welcome everybody back inside the broadcast booth here at the War Lodge. Once again, I'm Will Cooper, joined alongside Will Hogadike and Max Swain as well. Gentlemen, conserve your energy as much as possible. We got to do this all over again. So everybody at home, make sure you keep updated on those snacks. Get you another drink when we take a pause after this game. We'll take a little bit of a break, let the boys warm up here, and then we'll bring you the second game of action as well in that one. Once again, we do want to thank our sponsor, Barbara Lackey Financial Group, and all of our other sponsors. Max, if you'd like to read those out for us. We are so thankful to all of them for allowing us to be here.
Of course, Will. Our Sequoia Chiefs basketball sponsors are gold level sponsors, Beato's Bar and Grill and Cherokee Focus. Our gray level sponsors, Barber Homes, Barbara Lackey Financial Group, Honey Bay Tam, Inside Partners, Prestige Staffing, Strouds Barbecue and Woodstock Furniture. And our white level sponsors, Peachtree Pest Control, Brad's Barbershop, Edwards Eye Care, Johnny's New York Style Pizza, Riverstone Homes, Studio 5 Salon, and Suntex Maria's at Little River.
And we see those boys teams in the tunnel getting ready to get out on the floor with just under 1.5 minutes left to go. It is getting down to the wire here.
If you needed a reason to stay tuned, the Kell Longhorns have a sophomore named Peyton Marshall, who is 7 foot tall. He'll be playing center for the Longhorns tonight. So if you want to see a little bit of some fun action, that'll be one to keep your eye on, as there's a loose ball foul. You can can tell the Tigers getting a little frustrated here. As that now puts Sequoia in the bonus. So that will send that will send Blatchford to the line. Blatchford's pretty much the last person you want at the line, to be quite honest, but that's why they put the ball in her hand. So there's a nail in the coffin.
She is 4 for 4 tonight from the line.
And that'll be her 25th point of the night.
It's been a very well free throw shot game so far. 7-point difference, make it 8. And that is a huge 2 points there. So it moves it from 2 to 3 possessions now. And with 1:15 left, that's quite a mountain to climb, but it's possible. Basketball's very fast.
Especially this game.
Turnover, and Bradwell's going to retain possession.
They're going to say it went off Sailor Davies.
Good eye there, Will. So 1:08 left. Every second that goes off, that's a win for Sequoia. Nice play underneath, and they do draw the foul there. So let's see who the guilty party was on that.
That was Milani Abdus-Salam on the foul, but that was just great positioning by Parham, recognizing that Milani Abdus-Salam just wasn't ready.
And a nice feed as well from the inbound pass. So to the line for a free 2. That one is up and in. As that will be Salam checking out. Checking in is Singh. Singh with no points yet, no fouls either. And that one is up and in, so there's 2 points. Back within 6 with 1:05 left to go and rolling. Rogers with the ball, and they're going to call number 5 on the foul. I think that was against Rogers, is who she was working on defensively, and the Tigers wanted to travel but didn't get it, so 59 seconds left.
And Rogers was questioning if the foul, if she would be the one shooting, because they're in bonus now.
And they're discussing that. The Bradwell coaches are unhappy about something, and they want to discuss it with the officials.
And you know, Will, something you had mentioned earlier is how crucial these timeouts can be, even in just the last minute of basketball. We know the last minute of basketball can sometimes be the longest part of the game. So, and you know, those timeouts are so crucial because, I mean, for Bradwell or Sequoia, it could be a way to draw up their last play, you know, just that final bit of strategy that their coach is going to give them. So hopefully Sequoia doesn't have to use it to draw up their last play, but either way, both teams holding on to that timeout and wondering when the right opportunity is going to be to use that.
One timeout for each team. That's the first miss of the night from the stripe for Blatchford. Working inside, Aaron pass there. And Sequoia going to get possession on this one with the foul.
That was brilliant defense by Milani Abdus-Salam and Sailor Davies. Some of the best defensive performance I've seen all night. They know the position they're in. They're trying to just go up to the basket and try to attract a foul. They kept their feet planted, hands straight up. Beautiful basketball.
And with being in the bonus, that does count for a shot. It looks like Aaron Jackson will go to the stripe.
And this is when those free throws matter. This is when the best time you do not want to miss those free shots. Obviously, when they're free shots, you don't want to miss them anyway, but especially when, I mean, six-point lead for Sequoia here, so these are the ones that count the most.
And as we were mentioning, guys, that's only 2 possessions. It is the 2 threes that you would have to make, but still only 2 possessions. You make one, then you feel a lot better. And you make that second one, and you feel really good. And that one is up and in, so that puts it out to 3 possessions now. With 52 seconds left to go, Bradwell's going to have to start shooting some threes here. And this one up, and that is good as well. So a solid 3 possessions. 48 seconds left to go. And stoppage, but Bradwell Institute will retain possession.
And you know, Will, a player that we mentioned a couple times in the third quarter but haven't mentioned a bunch yet is Paris Parham, who's at 21 points for Bradwell. So if they need a player to take some threes, I would go to her. She's been hot tonight.
Great defense by Davies, draws the foul. And to the line she will go. And that's why the bonus is so important, guys, because now the 8-point difference with 38 seconds left, if you can extend this out, makes it even more difficult. I believe this is the first time Davies has been to the line tonight so far.
And, the reason that Bradwell fouls is to hope that Sequoia doesn't get it, and, really just for that stoppage of clock. But Sequoia's been doing a good job of making those free throws.
Absolutely right. And there it is. So that's 9 points now. You can make this second one, then it becomes a 4-possession game. Bang! 51-41 our score, 38 seconds left. Bradwell going to have to shoot quickly and shoot efficiently. As you see, they let the ball roll. Reason they do that is the clock does not start until they pick up the ball. Long three, finds the mark. What a response there. And a quick timeout. So that is the last timeout for Bradwell. And we'll welcome you back inside the broadcast booth here with 32 seconds left to go. Now the lead drawn down to 7, but once again, it is still a 3-possession game. That's why those free throws are so important, guys.
And with Bradwell taking that timeout, you got to think that the coach is drawing up some possible situations, saying, hey, if this person's open, give it to them, let them shoot. But, that was a big 3 by Bowman there. She took that from well beyond the arc.
Yeah, and she's only 20% on the night, but her shots have really come at crucial points where they need to get back into it. And that's another perfect example. It's a 7-point game now. 32 seconds is a lot of time in this last minute.
Yeah, and she may not be the high scorer of this game, but like you said, Max, I think she's definitely scored her points. She's chosen the moment at the right time.
Right you are, gentlemen, and it's the War Lodge is full. We can't even see below the key down here, so you're going to have to excuse us if some action goes on down there, but we will do our best to bring you the action. Of course, as we've been mentioning all night, this is the tip of the iceberg. We've got a whole other game to do after this, so make sure you stay tuned. The Kell Longhorns have come to the War Lodge to visit. What a treat it is for Sequoia to have 2 top-level teams where they get to host on a night back-to-back. It's absolutely a beautiful night here in Hickory Flat. The weather has warmed up. Basketball weather is wrapping up, as the season is as well, but hoping to do so with some hardware. So of course, as we mentioned, Sequoia, the runner-up in Region 7. River Ridge did win the region in the region tournament, and they are in action as well. We'll go over that score later as they quickly foul Aaron. And Jackson will go to the stripe.
Just more and more people pouring in.
Already starting to see some Kell fans as well.
As we mentioned, Kell much closer to home than Bradwell, but big shout out to the Bradwell faithful. Still here and took a long trip up here to get here. Of course, game starts at 6, so probably left work a little early as that one is up and in. Up to 8 points now. Big, another one here. And that one is up and in.
I don't even think either of those free throws touched the rim.
No.
Those were textbook free throws right there.
25 seconds left here to go. Long three. That was longer than the last one, but that one does not go. Good defense underneath. Loose ball. Sequoia's going to retain possession. Davies going to get it. Quick pass. Nice stuff. And there it is. That's Blatchford. Let's see if they even want to foul. And it looks like they're not. Oh. And they do call. What did they call? You hear the Sequoia faithful here unhappy with that one. Wasn't sure of the call.
I didn't even see a signal. I'm not for sure.
Now it's probably down here below the student section where we can't see. 2, 1. There you have it. The Sequoia Lady Chiefs are headed to the University of West Georgia for the Final Four. What a game, gentlemen. 53-44, our final tally here. Celebration going on at the War Lodge. Let's hope there's another one of those to come around. We'll bring you back in the broadcast booth before we take our break. Will, what a game. What are you looking forward to for this Sequoia Lady Chiefs team as they head to the University of West Georgia?
I'm looking forward to them to just keep on rolling. That was a great game. Bradwell Institute knew it was going to be a tough opponent with their smothered defense, but Sequoia's first half was just phenomenal. I think it was even better than their second half. They really just came out with a statement saying, you guys are not going to be able to play your game because we're going to play it at you, and you're not going to be able to find an answer. And they didn't. I mean, Bowman didn't score any points in that first half, and that was a great job by the Chiefs to hold Bowman to 0 right there.
And Max, you got to give a lot of credit to Baldwell. They came back for a little bit and played really well in that third quarter, but Sequoia outlasted them there in the fourth, and that's the difference as they head to the Final Four.
Yeah, they 1% did. They definitely didn't play a bad game. Their defense smothered and completely destroyed Sequoia's offense in certain spots. But I think if Bowman had an on night, it could be a completely different story. I think if Bowman had an on night, I don't know. But those are what ifs. But the Sequoia Chiefs are headed to the Final Four. What for these seniors, it has to feel great. 4 years in the making, just some great feels at Sequoia.
And let's not forget about Erin Jackson getting her 1,000th point.
Yes.
So a ticket to the Final Four and another member of the 1,000 Points Club. So that's the 4th member this year, 2 girls and 2 boys. So, I mean, it's really been a great season all around. And with the boys game, I mean, they're about to enter the War Lodge, so it's about to get pretty crazy in here once more.
The board has cleared 44-53, that final score, and we're going to take a quick break. 15 minutes on the clock until we'll bring you the next game of action. You've been listening to Chiefs TV and watching as well. I've been Will Cooper, joined alongside Will Hogendijk and Max Swain. Don't move a muscle. Refill your drinks, get your snacks. We've got a whole other game to bring you in about 15 minutes.
Let me get out my boys rosters.
Welcome back into the War Lodge. We've got a minute until we're set for the next game of action. We've got the Sequoia Chiefs hosting the Kell Longhorns in the 6A playoff matchup here. Welcome everybody back into the broadcast booth. I'm your host, Will Cooper, joined alongside Will Hogendijk getting his notes all sorted and ready, and Max Swain as well. We've got a great one on tap for you. Of course, both these teams come in riding a couple of game win streaks. Of course, that is interesting to note because Sequoia's last loss was January the 28th. They have won for a complete month in a row. They come in as the Region 7 champs. They upset the River Ridge Knights in that game there in the region tournament and have won the first seed here, and that's why they are here on the opposite side of that coin. Kell Longhorns come in 19-10, and they are the runner-up in Region 6, but worth noting they also play in the same region as Wheeler, who has been known to be one of the top teams in Georgia as far as basketball. They are also still in this tournament. They come in averaging 66.6 points per game. And let's talk about the elephant in the room real quick, gentlemen. That is Peyton Marshall, the 7-foot-tall center. So once again, guys, welcome back into the broadcast. Tell me a little bit about how you're feeling about this game, Will.
Well, I'll just start it off by telling you how each team got here, similar to how I started the girls' game. So Sequoia, their first game was against Paulding County. They beat them 135-112, and that might sound like a high score because that's the highest combined score of any high school basketball game in the nation this year. So quite a feat there. And then going the second game, they beat Rockdale County 84-75. And then moving over to the Kell side of things, they beat Habersham 79-66, and then they beat Tucker 76-61. So Sequoia is a consistent high 70s to mid 80s scoring team. We saw them obviously with the high score of 135, but they did hit 100 versus Johns Creek. We were there for that one. That was a fun one. And then Kell's a consistent mid 70s scoring team. So both these teams match up pretty evenly. So it's going to be interesting to see, you know, kind of like the girls' game, which team comes out firing first and which quarters are which teams. So,
of course, the lights darken as they introduce the home Chiefs. Max, I'm going to send it over to you, buddy. What are you looking forward to seeing in this game?
I think you said it perfectly. The elephant in the room. He's the size of an elephant, the height of a giraffe, the whole Savannah in one. It's Peyton Marshall, 7 foot tall, a beast under the basket, can dunk without even jumping. It's going to be entertaining to watch how he matches up against Fisher Mitchell. Matthew Trainer down low. We know he's an athlete, but how will they match up against Marshall? It's going to be a fantastic game.
It should be a good one on tap, of course. As we mentioned, the War Lodge is packed. I've never seen it so full. A good job by Kell to come out and support their team. As we mentioned, a little bit shorter trip than Bradwell Institute, who had a very good game of their own against the Lady Chiefs. But the Lady Chiefs are headed to the Final Four. Let's hope and see if the regular Sequoia Chiefs can join them along the way. 8 minutes on the clock. Everything is wiped off the board. We are set to go, and it should be a good one here. So we're getting ready to send you back to the floor as we've got a whole nother game of action here for you. Settle in for the night, folks. It's going to be a good one as we've got a Elite 8 matchup, and it is brought to you by Barbara Lackey Financial Group. We want to thank them once again for being our title sponsor for this event here tonight for both games. Of course, the winner of this will go on to play at the University of West Georgia down in South Georgia later if they do win this one indeed. The tip is up, and Kell with the win.
And the winner will face Grovetown in the Final Four. That match has already been decided. None of the other Elite 8 matches have been played. This one is the second one to get underway.
Good defense down in the corner. Good drive there. Quick moves by Kell up into the basket and in. That's the first points of the night. And that one quickly goes to Dylan Cambridge. Sequoia going to have to set up a little bit of offense. As we know, they have a couple of very good scorers. Dylan Wiley, known for his three-point shooting. But they're going to have to rely on some other guys tonight. Keener, 17.6 points per game. Fisher Mitchell, the big man underneath at 11.7 points per game. Going to need him tonight as they fish it out back to him, but a travel called. And the guilty party on that one is Keener. So Kell with a quick turnover with 7:19 left to go here in the first.
And you know, Will, we saw Cambridge go up for that layup, and that's not going to be the only time we're going to see him driving to the basket. Kell has multiple guys that can dunk on this team. 6'5" Aaron Smith, Dylan Cambridge. So there's multiple tall guys on this team that they're going to really put it to the Chiefs.
And another travel call, that time against Aaron Smith of the Kell Longhorns. So going back the other way. Maybe a little bit of early game jitters here as you hear the student section kindly reminding the Kell Longhorns of the rules of basketball.
And yeah, they're going to be talking throughout the whole game, trying to get the Longhorns nervous.
Little physical play there, but a long shot, bang, up and in. Kyle Keener with the early three as Sequoia jumps out on top. Kell with a quick response, long three here, bang, that one's hammered home on the other end. That was Aaron Smith once again. That one quickly up and in for Sequoia on the back end. 5-5, all knotted up here with 6:30 left to go.
Starting out to be a track meet just like that girls game was, both teams going back and forth.
Jump ball called. That was quick. So the possession arrow goes to Kell.
Keener tried to grab that one from, I'm not sure who it was, maybe Cambridge. And the refs thought he got a little too much arm, not enough ball on that one.
Once again, we are working on a crowded view down to our knee. Oh, and a slip there. Kell with a quick break. And the foul called on the opposite end. I believe that was Mitchell, the guilty party. As number 4, Cambridge, went back up real quick, would have had the easy layup. And we pardon the language. As that will go to the stripe. First time we've seen a team to the stripe tonight. So the first one up and in. The atmosphere in here is electric. There's a quick 2 there. Good defense here from Kell to start, as that's Parrish Johnson, who's had 17 points last game. As we mentioned, not on the floor is Peyton Marshall yet. He's only a sophomore at 7 foot tall, so we'll grow more into that frame. Nice put up there.
And that's something we've seen Preston Parker do many times this year, is bounce it off a part of the glass, a very high part of the glass that is not usually used for layups, and he's doing great at that.
He's a skilled junior. Very happy we get him for another year.
Nice steal there. As you just mentioned, Parker with the steal. Long three. Bang! Hammers it home. And a long 2. My apologies. Thank you, Max. Caught us in rotation there. 5 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock. A 3 here from Kell. Misses the mark.
And the student section going to let Kell know what happened there.
Giving him ammo here. Working underneath. Nice shot! Kyle Keener. Keener with a quick 4. Excuse me, 7. So Keener and Parker have combined for all the points here. Another long 3. Nope. Nice rebound underneath. Sequoia winning the glass underneath here to start, not something we expected.
Wally not getting involved quite yet. Keener showing he can do very well on his own.
Quick turnaround here from Kell. Drive to the basket, very nice, laid up and in as Aaron Smith. We see Wally getting the ball for the first time tonight, see if he can do something with it. Drives inside, nice shoot. Floating away just a little bit short. And Trainer tried to come down with it, but couldn't do it. So mishandle by Cambridge there. And Kell retains possession up and inside against Mitchell. Shot doesn't go. Good
Beautiful defense by Fisher Mitchell.
About as good as you can do it. And good no call on the foul there. And just rolls off the front of the rim. Trainer inside gets it. Mitchell with a long 3. Just off the back of the rim.
You know, that's another thing we see Trainer do a lot, is he gets tons and tons of rebounds. He's at 186 on the year, leads the team, and you know, that's something that helps the Chiefs stay in it and get second chances a lot of times.
He's certainly grown into his frame over his past couple of years here at Sequoia. Nice defense inside. Quick pass out, jump away, and just short but finds its way in. That was Cambridge. Tied at 11 here. 3:20 left to go in the first. And a steal there from Cambridge. Up, with the charge. Shot won't go. So good job by Parker to draw the charge. We're going to have our first substitution. So entering the floor is number 21, Peyton Marshall, at 7 foot tall. Keep in mind, he is a sophomore. He has 15 points and 11 rebounds in his last game, so that 11 rebounds is really the story there. He's going to play underneath the net. And it's going to be hard to work against him underneath. That's going to be Fisher Mitchell's job.
And I really think his presence in the paint really speaks for himself. Doesn't really need a stat line.
Wally Long 3 hammers it home.
And Wally will get in on the scoring action here with a 3 of his own.
And that's what Sequoia's going to have to do. When you have Marshall on the floor, you're going to have to shoot very well. Don't want to put it up to rebound chances. Posting up inside, back to him, facilitating this offense. Good defense underneath. Errant pass. Mitchell forces the errant pass. Sequoia's going to take over. Listen to this crowd.
Student section was just waiting for something like that to happen.
And that's a great first possession by Fisher Mitchell, gaining momentum while guarding Marshall. A great early sign for the Chiefs.
You may not believe this, but Marshall is the second tallest player to enter the War Lodge this year. Of course, IMG Academy came down and played in the Classic, and they had their 7'4" center, who's also a sophomore, come in and play. So we've seen a couple of giants here at the War Lodge this year. Just like this game is a giant as well. Nice block out there by Marshall, just as we mentioned him. Connor Harris was attempting a 3, but didn't even get a chance.
With a 7-foot frame, that's something you're going to see a lot. Max and I were watching the highlights for Kell, and blocks were a thing we saw quite a few of, not just from Marshall there, but also from Smith as well as Cambridge, the Kell tall guys.
So Parker gets it, dishes it out underneath. That's Keener. Keener with a long pass to Mitchell. Mitchell's got a 3, just off the back of the rim. Loose ball, everybody fighting for it. And a jump ball, and the possession arrow goes in the way of Kell. So they will take over. 2 minutes and 8 seconds left to go here in the first. I'm Will Cooper, joined alongside Will Hogendijk. Max Swain, thank you for being with us here on Chiefs TV, on YouTube, and wherever you are watching. We appreciate you making us your entertainment for the night. Nice pass inside to Cambridge, and it's no good. Clock now under 2 minutes. Keener averaging 17.6 on the year. So far in this one, he's got 7. Open 3, finds it, 4-point play! Preston Parker with a chance to go to the stripe to convert the very advantageous 4-point play.
Parker watching that one sail in from the floor as he got knocked down.
This feels like I am in an NBA arena. There is not a space open, and the crowd goes wild at every play.
When we say not a space open, it's on either side of the gym. There's not a space open.
Yeah, Kell has quite the turnout.
Yeah, they did very well. They filled in the section completely to our left here on the visitor side. So congratulations to them for getting this far as the 4-point play is converted. Minute 43 left. They're going to substitute a little bit here.
You know, Will and Max, just to break down a little bit of how this Kell offense works. They pass it around quickly to draw another man off because, you know, they have those tall guys that can just put it in easily. And, you know, that leaves multiple men open so they can just fire it out and get easy 3 shots or points in the paint as well.
Fisher Mitchell inside giving him the business. I feel like he ate his Wheaties a little bit.
That was a perfect example right there. Marshall had the ball, he was triple teamed. And in the videos he watched, he was sometimes quadruple teamed. So that's a key piece of their offense, is dragging defenders across the court.
Long 3 here, just short of the mark. Fisher Mitchell, no, excuse me, that's Wally trying to get the rebound. Let's see who it goes to, and Sequoia is going to get it off the loose ball. So there was quite a fight underneath. Wally almost had it, but then it was poked away, but fortunately, the last one to touch it was a Longhorn.
And Will, one guy that Max and I were watching very carefully during our film session was Connor Staffeleris, the freshman who was making 3s and getting fast breaks. He is definitely a player to watch for Kell. He can put some points on the board for them.
That is number 22 on the floor. It looks like he'll be working, at least right now, against Stephen Galvin, the sophomore. And that's an air ball. Wally had a lot of contact down there, but no call. You see, once again, the offense is set up around the interior paint. As Mitchell trying to work inside. Not a lot you can do about that. Quick put up and in. 5-point deficit now for the Longhorns. Just under a minute here to go at the War Lodge. Mitchell with a long 3. Just off the front of the rim. Good rebound inside. Mitchell on the inside. This time he finds it. That's what the big man needs. A little bit of money underneath.
And great assist by Galvin there. He knew he did not have the shot in the corner. Great dribbling, great ball movement.
30 seconds here to go. Nice underneath, going to draw the foul there. That's Kyle Keener working one-on-one against Aaron Smith underneath the basket. Smith to the line. Smith has 7 points on the night. So a big part of this offense. As a matter of fact, he's got 7. Peyton Marshall has 2. Well, he has 8 now, and that's been the only point scored for these teams on the floor right now. So 10 of their 16 points on the floor.
We saw early in the girls' game, but here in the boys' game, both teams are 100% from the free throw line.
I'd like to see Wally get a little bit more involved, but you got to give a lot of credit to Jalen Collin, who's been working on him very well. Collin had 20 points in the game the last time out. Quick shot here, just misses the mark. That was Stephen Galvin with the quick shot. So at the end of one, our score 16-20, gentlemen. And my, oh my, what a game it's been already. Max, let's start with you. What have you liked from Sequoia, and what are some things that you would like to see them change?
I think it has to be their ball movement right now, and they're not forcing shots, which is good. So ball movement and not forcing shots, 100% things to build on going to the second quarter. They have a 4-point lead. It's just that Marshall kid, I think he's pretty good down low.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Fisher Mitchell is doing a great job competing solo, but and they have those plays where they get those 3 people on them, but they are exploiting them and they find an open man. So they have to find that right mix, because you're going to have to double team him at some points because he is a beast. Yes. But it's going to be when can you double team him and when are you going to have to leave him alone with Fisher Mitchell.
Will, your assessment?
Well, you know, Marshall's a beast that you're not always going to be able to tame, and I think Mitchell's doing a good job. Obviously, we saw Marshall just throwing over Mitchell's head, but, I mean, it's an 8-inch difference. You're going to get that sometimes. But, I mean, I think offensively, Mitchell, I think, needs to get started on the 3 ball. I mean, we saw him miss 3 wide-open threes. He was able to get a nice layup there. So if he can get started going offensively, even though he's not their lead scorer, I mean, he's got 11 points a game average, so he can put some on the board for them. And then also, I think, Will, as you mentioned, I'd like to see Wally get a little bit more involved. We saw him with a big 3, but you know, if Sequoia's going to get in this, they're going to need a team effort. And, I mean, I think a team effort is something they can definitely accomplish. You know, Parker and Keener kind of carrying the weight now. But that's a good thing about Sequoia is if they have 2 guys that are pulling the weight, the other 2 guys will pull it later when they need it.
Wally hammers it home! No, Trainer, excuse me. No, Wally, I was right the first time. I'll get it right at some point. But what a dunk. My goodness, didn't know Wally had that in him.
That is something we have not seen from Sequoia this year. That was nice.
They've had plenty of opportunities this whole season to dunk, but they've been saving it for the Elite 8.
Back and forth the call, the double dribble. Sequoia will take over.
And that's got to get the blood flowing in Wally. Man, that felt good. Wow.
Once again, fires the student section up coming off of the short break. 7:33 left to go here in the first half. Man, Wally known as a 3-point shooter, but absolutely jammed that one home.
He had the wide open lane, and he took it.
See, he's all fired up now. Cuts back inside. Mitchell with a 3. Just off a little bit once again. Trainer gets it underneath. Dishes it out to Wally.
And they're going to have to realize that Mitchell is not on tonight.
Wow, aerobatic shot there from Wally, but doesn't go. Kell going to slow down, set up a play here. 7 minutes left to go. Lots of contact inside and a travel call. So on back-to-back possessions, Kell hasn't been able to keep their feet moving and the ball moving at the same time. Kyle Keener here, as you mentioned, working one-on-one against Julius Strayhorn. See Wally at the top of the key, he gets it. Good defense by Kell here to start. Parker on the inside, back out to Trainer. Trainer's going to try and drive, and he's stuffed. That's one thing they're going to have to keep an eye on. They're not used to playing a center that tall. And your nature is to get to the basket, but it's so difficult when you know he's in the vicinity.
100%, and that kind of changes the whole mindset of everyone's game because you have to recognize that there's this huge dude in the paint.
So Fisher Mitchell, the guilty party on the foul on the floor there. So I believe that's his second, and it is. So have to keep an eye on that. Of course, if Fisher Mitchell gets into foul trouble, that's something that's a great detriment to the Chiefs inside. They need somebody with that size to keep an eye on Marshall while he's on the floor. That pass missed the target, but Kell will keep possession. Nice pass inside. Long three, just off the mark from the freshman, Connor Stephilaris. Wally, the other three-point shooter on the floor. Long three, inside and out. This is Colin with the ball. He had 20 points in their last game against Tucker. Another foul. This time the guilty party trainer on the inside. And that's the play right there. Wow! Stolen, quick break, one man to beat, and laid back in on the second effort there. Good job by Wally to clean that one up.
That was set up by a quadruple team on the other end. Wow.
Hammered home on the other end by Cambridge. 5:30 left to go here in the second quarter. Parker, the top of the key. Mid-range jumper, just off. And loose ball here. Let's see who ends up with it. And Kell does. Still no stoppage, still a fight for the ball. And a timeout. Oh my, the Sequoia fans aren't going to be happy about that. Not sure that they had possession to call that timeout, but they give it to them. So with 5:10 left to go, the Chiefs up by 6.
It's been so hard to pay attention to the score with all the phenomenal plays that have been going back and forth.
That shot by Keener there, that if he made that, I might have left. But that dunk by Cambridge, I think that really was important because he obviously had a lane for a layup. He could have easily taken the layup, but the momentum was all towards Sequoia. For him to take that dunk really kind of brought the decibels in the gym down.
Yes, absolutely. There's one thing that gets a high school gym fired up, it's a dunk. So 3 points are pretty, but dunks get everybody going. So we'll send it back to the floor here for you. So we now work under 5 minutes here in the second quarter. Hard drive inside. And that will take over for Sequoia as they draw the foul.
Trainer didn't even blink an eye there. He went straight to the ground. He's probably used to that from football.
Yeah. Trainer's a tough player. That's one thing you got to give him credit for. And once again, Sequoia loses possession, and they're going to retain it. Good job by Sequoia. And a travel called that time. It was Kyle Keener.
There was just so much pressure there. Understandable why I lost possession.
So Keener coughs it up. Kell will take over. Once again, our score 18-24. Sequoia doing a good job holding on to that 6-point lead. As we see here, this is Colin. And a long shot there from the freshman, doesn't go. And it's dished back out to Keener. Keener with one man to beat, going to set up the offense. Finds him in rotation. Harris, no, just off. Working back inside, draws the foul. Preston Parker on the inside will go for a free two. It's really been a clean game so far. We got an injury here, a little bit of blood on the floor. That is Kyle Keener. He'll have to come off and receive medical attention. So checking into the game for him will be Stephen Galvin.
I'm sure it's nothing he won't be able to walk off, but it's been a really aggressive and back and forth game. Both teams going, up and down the court very quickly.
Like you just said, there hasn't been many fouls, which is good. It's so fun to watch when they're playing as hard as they can, but they're not being over aggressive.
That one is up and in, so 2 points there, extends the lead out to 8. 4 minutes and 15 seconds left to go. Nice passing, going to set up inside for Marshall. Marshall doesn't find it, gets his own rebound. And he's getting climbed all over. Sequoia fans aren't happy about that one, as the foul, I believe, will go against number 23, Galvin.
And you saw that quadruple team again.
Yeah.
I mean, usually for teams, you don't want to do that because then it gives Kell 3 open guys. But, I mean, Sequoia's done it a couple times, and although they did get the foul on that one, the last time it worked out pretty good. And, I mean, on Marshall's first attempt, he didn't get it, so.
You hear this gym. And you hear the Kell return. Got to give Kell fans credit, traveled well, but my oh my, is this gym filled with black and gold. Not a lot of orange to be seen in the mix. Parker's going to take this one. Trying to drive inside. Good pass inside. Finds Harris.
That's great playmaking.
Beautiful.
That is great playmaking from Parker there.
Extends the lead back out to 8.
He had 3 guys on him and just passed it right in between all of them.
A 3 from 10 feet beyond the arc. Doesn't find the mark, but put back up and in by Smith. 3:30 left to go here in the second. Nice possession here from Sequoia. Mitchell back on the floor. Gave Mitchell a rest, had 2 fouls. Ooh, nice move there. Parker finds Mitchell. Mitchell gonna rotate here, back to Keener. Lays it up just short. And fighting for the ball, but lets go smartly. Would have been called for a foul there. That was Paris Johnson who got it back for his team. So he's at the top of the key. Poked away by Harris. Driving inside to Marshall.
Oh, yeah.
Mitchell, good job to poke that one away. Wally's got it. He dishes it to Keener. Keener with a quick break. Fouled hard. And they do not call a foul.
That was a good steal there from Wally on that other end of the court.
I was just about to say that was a fantastic steal by Wally. He recognized that Marshall brought the ball down. Whenever you have that time where a big man brings the ball down, that you have to take advantage of every single moment.
Yeah, Sequoia so far not really being phased by Marshall. I mean, the 7-foot presence is really not seeming to even get in their head. So far, he's only been sent to the free throw line 1 time, and he's only got 4 points. Yeah. So, I mean, it's less than you would have thought he would have gotten. So Sequoia's doing a good job of locking down on him.
Yeah, that's the key, right? When you have a guy who's so much taller than the rest of your team, you know he's going to be used. So how do you take him out of the equation? And Sequoia, to their credit, has done a good job of that. This is a lower scoring game than we thought it would be. As we mentioned, Kell comes in averaging 66.6 points per game. Sequoia 77.2. Of course, that 135 number may slant that number just a little bit in Sequoia's favor. But nonetheless, these two teams only combining in the 20s, each, and a total of points of 50 for this one. Much more low scoring than we thought, but there's still a lot of time. And obviously, as we know, with 2:46 left to play in the first half, a lot can change. So let's see if Sequoia can hold this 6-point lead. Raleigh will inbound this to try to inbound it to Mitchell, but it's poked away instead by Colin there.
And, we figured that both teams were going to hold together pretty evenly. And, the fact that it's not as high scoring could be a testament to just that it's playoff basketball. So everyone's leaving it all out there on the court. They're not withholding anything. So both teams playing phenomenal defense and great offense as well.
So the River Edge girls team was defeated by Lovejoy. 71-59 the score final in that, so the Lady Knights season done. Wally with a long 3, hammers it home. That's what you want to see if you're a Sequoia fan there. Wally getting involved a little bit more. Marshall on the inside, working, tipped away. Oh, they called a foul. Jeez.
They called it on Fisher Mitchell, which I can understand a little bit more. He was behind Marshall on that play. It did seem like Wally got a clean block on him, though.
And we apologize for the colorful language. And hammers home the free throws. You have to give the big man credit. There's one thing a big man should be able to do, that is make free throws. And he has done that very well so far.
100%, and that's kind of one thing that you rely on big men for, because you know that they're going to get fouled down low. If they're a physical post player, they have to be able to make their free throws.
So Mitchell comes off with 3 fouls. Got to keep him out of foul trouble. So he has to come off and take a rest.
Speaking of unfazed, Marshall's been pretty unfazed by that Sequoia student section. They've been booing him all 4 of his free throws, and he's made all 4 of them.
Wally, quick dish. Almost tipped away, but Harris handles the hot pass. This is Preston Parker. Driving inside, good job finding Harris underneath. Knew the shot wouldn't go, hands it off to Wally. Wally really the leader of this team. Pretty good defense there inside.
Nice job getting a finger on it on Aaron Smith.
Long three, beautiful shot. I believe that was Paris Johnson there in the corner. And a return three from Parker. King me, he says. 1:45 left to go in the first half.
And that's something we've seen multiple times in this game, both teams answering each other very quickly.
Wally pokes it away, and it's off of a Kell defender last. So possession will go to Sequoia with 1:37. Sequoia protecting a 7-point lead. Oh, beautiful. Wally in the corner. Just off the mark. Good try by Trainer to get in there and get the rebound. Here's another shot for a long three. Hammers it home. The freshman you mentioned, Will. Stoffelaris there.
And that's a dangerous shooter for the Chiefs to leave open because there's not many shots that he misses when he's wide open.
This is Keener on the inside. Good defense there from the freshman, Stoffelaris. Turnover here. Johnson going up, man. Good contest there. Good defense from Wally. Wally forces it back out to Marshall. And a travel! Peyton Marshall called with the travel. Feel bad for these officials. We're now under a minute here, about 55 seconds to go. 30-34 our score. Kell's come back a little bit here. And a travel the other way. Peyton Marshall forced the pickup of the dribble there from Harris, and he took an extra step. 49 seconds here to go. Coaches barking out orders to their respective teams. Inside to Marshall, finds Pater.
A little bit of a Kell student section starting to come alive here.
Hammers it home for a long two. Sends the lead back out to 40. 30 seconds now. Oh my. And that was a foul against Marshall there. And you hear the student section. Folks, if you don't love high school sports, I don't know what to tell you. Okay?
Feisty.
The Sequoia student section giving the horns down. Good defense there from Kell. Wally in the corner, forces the jump. And there's a foul on the floor. That's Paris Johnson, the guilty party. This game a little bit more foul heavy than the last one, gentlemen.
But, I mean, keep in mind, it's still a very close game.
Yes.
Sequoia is only leading by 4. I don't think Sequoia has lost the lead all game.
No.
But regardless, it's been very close for both teams.
And we were talking about how they weren't on pace for much of a high-scoring game, but they've picked it up in these last 2 minutes.
Got about 10 seconds on the clock now. Don't see the call.
5 seconds.
Oh, okay. So good shout out there by Max. Max, our rules expert here. Keeps me on track. And Aaron shot there. And, oh no! Would have been one for the ages if Parker had hammered it home, but instead, we'll send it to halftime, 36-32. Before we get to our halftime break, we want to welcome everybody back into the broadcast booth here at the War Lodge. Guys, take a breath. We got to halftime, 32-36, our score. Will, I want to start with you. Tell me a little bit about what you thought of that first half.
Well, I mean, I think Sequoia played well. I think that after that first quarter, Wally was able to get into it. I mean, he's at 12 points right now, and that's a pretty good quarter for him. I still like to see Fisher Mitchell get a little bit more involved. He's missed 4 threes, so he hasn't been his usual self. You know, you can usually depend on him for anywhere from 10 to 12 points a game. And then Trainer's been doing great defensively, getting rebounds. He doesn't have any points to show for, but that's not really the way he plays. He's more of a defensive player, not necessarily offensive player. I mean, as far as Kell goes, I think they're playing equally as good. I think Sequoia's doing a good job of locking down on Peyton Marshall. And so I think if Kell can recognize when Sequoia is doing that and then pass it, you know, out wide, setting up those open shots for Kell, I think Kell could really start to get some points here.
Excellent point, Will. Max, what's your assessment of the first half?
Well, that was a roller coaster, first thing, but I think it was a great all-around first half for Sequoia. You have Wally and Keener who are both shooting 50%, and that's a great first half for both of them. Wally put up 10 shots, Keener put up 6 attempts. I think for them, they just need to keep on shooting, because the more attempts they get, obviously they're going to make more, but still, to pressure that Kell defense, to put more pressure on them and kind of change momentum with occasional makes, that's something very important. And for Kell, I think that they had a great first half too. Marshall played phenomenally, even though he got kind of found out by everyone on the floor. But I think Cologne outside Aaron Smith, hit a very underrated first half, complete dominator on the drives to the lane. Kell just needs to figure out how to stop their shooting on the Sequoia shooting on the defense side of the ball, and they have a heavy chance of taking the lead. Only 4-point ball game.
We got a lot left to see as the half-court shot contest is going on down below with all the high school students and the kids. And while they're doing that, we're going to take about a 7-minute break. And when we come back, we're going to bring you the second half of action. Once again, our score, 36-32 in favor of the hometown Chiefs. You're watching Chiefs TV on wherever you're watching it. Thank you for making us your Wednesday night entertainment. We'll be back. What a perfect Welcome back into the War Lodge as we've got a minute left of intermission before we get set for the second half of action between the Kell Longhorns and the hometown Sequoia Chiefs. Do want to get into this before we get into the game. We do know what will happen in the next round of playoffs for the girls basketball team. Sequoia will be playing Kell. So a little bit of irony there as we have Kell here tonight. And Kell versus Sequoia will become top of mind for the Lady Chiefs as it is right now for the boys team. Want to welcome back into the broadcast booth Will Hogendijk and my good friend Max Swain as well. Of course, thank you all for joining us here on this Wednesday night. The student section filling back up from the intermission. Guys, quickly, Will, I'll start with you. What are you looking for Sequoia to come out here and do to start the half?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that they need to get Fisher Mitchell jump started. I mean, you know, I think everyone else on the court had a pretty typical game. You know, Parker with 13, Wally with 12, Keener with 7, Trainer not with any points but with plenty of rebounds doing his part. So I think if they can get Fisher Mitchell started on the scoring, then they can really start to pull away here. As far as Kell, I think they can need to keep doing what they're doing. I think they had a nice first half. Obviously, they need to get in the lead. So if they can just stop Sequoia defensively and continue what they've been doing offensively, I think it's going to be a different story for them.
All right, Max, what about you?
Kind of the same thing for Kell. I think they need to move a tad bit faster on defense because they're kind of getting left behind a little. And for Sequoia, just keep on taking as many shots as you can and keep on taking your brand of shot.
We'll send you back down to the floor. Once again, thank you to the Barbara Lackey Financial Group for sponsoring here as there's a jam inside by the big man. We've been mentioning it all night long and playing with fire. And there it comes to fruition in Peyton Marshall. Once again, only a sophomore, standing 7 foot tall, a big force on the inside, but Sequoia's handled him well so far. And there's a steal on the opposite end. Kell coming out here with a lot of fire. Quick transition. And my, oh my, foul called there in transition. Don't know about that call, gentlemen. It looked like got more ball than hand, but they're a lot closer to it than we are, so we'll leave that judgment up to them, as that was Kyle Keener, the guilty party.
And, you know, we saw Sequoia play very aggressive defense in the first half, and, you know, that's a side effect. Sometimes you're not going to get the call you want. You will end up sending Kell to the free throw line, and although Kell did go to the free throw line, they didn't go too many times. So Sequoia playing aggressive and clean defense for the most part.
Cole in there with the shot up and in. And if he makes this one, it'll be a tie. And we got a game on our hands, folks. So all knotted at 36. Clock reads 7:30 now. Thank everybody for being with us on a beautiful Wednesday night. Mitchell open with a 3. Can he hit this one? No, just off again. Been just about a foot off all night long. And continues that streak. Nice move inside there by Kell. Parrish Johnson. And Kell having their way a little bit to begin. Wally on the back end, no, but reissued by Trainer. Back outside, long 3, hammered home. Beautiful shot that time by Parker. Parker coming into his own, got 16 points on the night.
And he's been money from beyond the arc. I think he's 3 for 3 on the night.
You got that right.
3 for 4, close, but he's having a great night.
Inside to Marshall, but dishes it back out top. And there's the matchup. Working inside, no foul called there. Trainer was working with him, trying to help Fisher Mitchell out, but no dice. So Kell still holding the lead by 1. First lead they've held all night. As this is Wally with the ball. And out to Trainer. An interesting thing about Sequoia's offense, they don't use Mitchell inside the paint. As here's another shot. And just off again from three-point land. And we got a foul.
It might have been on Marshall.
It is against Marshall. I have to get up on my tiptoes to see over the crowd.
And Will, with Mitchell being their tallest guy, you would think that they would be in the paint. But I think especially this season, Trainer has kind of developed as that guy in the paint. Because, I mean, despite his not overly huge size, he's very physical and able to get plenty of rebounds.
Long 3 there, doesn't go. Course underneath, you just need an aggressive ball player. Sometimes size doesn't matter if you have the aggression. You see Trainer working against Marshall there, and it's physical inside. Long 3, nope. And good rebound there by Keener. Of course, Trainer, a football player, not afraid of contact. Plays quarterback, but also safety. And that one's poked away by Kell, Aaron Smith, but it's quickly picked up once again by Keener. Keener retains possession. And a travel called that time against Parker. 5:37 left on the clock in the third. Foul on each team here to start the third. And you hear the Kell student section responding to the Sequoia student section.
I'm sure we'll hear a response shortly.
It should be a good one. Kell working once again inside. And foul called inside. So that one is once again against Trainer on the inside. Trainer's done a good job. That's only his second foul of the night. And that's a tough call inside. Kell working it in and out, in and out, in and out. Mitchell underneath, contesting, and nothing you can do about that.
When the grabs go right over your head, what can you do?
Quick rebound here. Kell's going to take it in transition. Long three, doesn't go. Oh, wow. Pretty good job there by Sequoia. Preston Parker playing a little bit of a block there.
Yeah, I saw a little bit of shoulder to get him out of bounds.
Not sure that's advisable, and that's what the official's telling him. I didn't blow the whistle, but I don't know that I would recommend you do that again. So we're now under 5 minutes here to go in the third. And there's a foul. Fouls are starting to rack up here for both teams, not getting some good looks. That was Julius Strayhorn working inside. Strayhorn on it's his first score of the night as a foul. Doesn't have any points yet.
And Connor Harris will check in for Matthew Trainer on the Chiefs side of the ball.
That's a good point. Gonna have to rotate with him and Fisher Mitchell working against Peyton inside. And you see a drive inside. Oh, wow! How did that one go? Keener lays it up and in. Kell with a response quickly, and that one goes. The Kell lead back out to 3 now. This is Wally with the ball. Dishes it out to the top to Mitchell. Good movement here from Sequoia, trying to work inside. And that one is stuffed, but gets his own rebound, and I believe it's off of Marshall. Let's see. It is. That was a heads-up play there by Sequoia to tap it back to him as he goes out. They're getting ready to inbound this ball now. That's Keener. Dishes it back out top. We mentioned Connor Harris had a big first half. Would like to see him continue to be involved. Mitchell mid-range, dumps it underneath. Holy cow.
Wow.
Preston Parker, you magician.
Circus layup. That was impressive, to say the least.
My gosh.
Score back within 1. 4:10 on the clock here in the third. Once again, the Elite 8 of the 6A GHSA playoffs. Inside to Marshall. Ooh, he's out. He is.
The referee pointing to the spot where he stepped out, and the Sequoia student section is not going to let Kell forget that one.
And that pass inside to Marshall just blows me away. It looks like it could be interpreted sometimes as a shot because they throw it so high, but then it ends up in Marshall's hands. Insane.
Mitchell with a 3. I did everything but went through the net. And no call there on the loose ball.
And Mitchell's three's not falling from anywhere tonight.
And nothing you can do about that. Marshall puts it back up.
Yeah, Mitchell is 0 for 6 from outside the arc.
Shooter's got to keep shooting, though. Here's another 3 attempt, and just off the side of the rim. That's the problem with the 3 ball. It's not a high percentage shot. Of course, the 135 game would make you think otherwise, but they are 38% from three-point land this year, 46% shooting from the floor is Sequoia. And there's a 3 from Kell, and that one is beautifully hammered. 3 minutes left here to go. Sequoia now trailing by 6. Nice move there. Here comes a 3 from the opposite end. No good, but good rebound inside by Wally. Wally tries to put it back up, and it's tipped away. Kell's going to have a break. And just off the side, nope. Nope. And it's going to be Sequoia's ball.
And it almost looked like Aaron Smith was going for the alley-oop after that missed layup there. That could have been dangerous.
And here's where it matters most. So as you see, Peyton Marshall coming off to the side now, and Sequoia's going to have to make up ground while he's not on the floor.
100%. This is their time to shine and get back in this one.
I'd like to see Fisher start to get that 3 aligned. And there's going to be a foul. It's number 3, Colin. Colin was a big part of the production last week. He did have 20 points in their last game, was the leading scorer for them. Tonight it looks like he's only amounted to 2 points and 2 fouls. So they give it to Mitchell and then back. Wow, long three, just off the front of the rim. Poked away nicely. Sequoia's going to retain possession.
That was a good poke away by Fisher Mitchell.
And try it again. That one doesn't go either, but Fisher Mitchell's going to get it inside and lays it back up and in.
And he knows he has an advantage when Marshall is out.
49-45, 2:15 left. We are in the third. There's a three if he wanted it, didn't want it, and a travel call. Juked himself out, could have taken the three, decided against it, and just like that, Peyton Marshall going to check back into the game. So they didn't give him much time. So let's see what Sequoia can set up once again with Marshall back in this one. Fisher Mitchell at the top, wide open three, just not going tonight. Wally from a mid-range. That one goes. They draw within 2, 1:50 left to go. But once again, Marshall back on the floor now. There's a three. Nope. And good job by Mitchell to keep it cleared out. In transition.
Oh.
Doesn't go. And the foul drawed. Okay. That was a late call there, late whistle. That was against Staffelaris, the freshman that's known for his three-point shooting. And that is their 4th foul for Kell.
And Will and Max, I think Sequoia needs to remember that they're not in the lead. I think they were used to being in the lead. I mean, for that whole first half and a lot of the beginning of the second half too. So I think they need to calm it down a little bit, get a couple quick shots to get back in the lead. Because I mean, with that free throw made by Parker, they're now only within 1, so they're close. But I think they just need to get that lead back.
Preston Parker having a huge night, 19 points so far, and just off the mark that time.
And Parker is 80% from the free throw line tonight.
1:34 left on the clock. Sequoia down by 1. Kell comes into this one 19-10 on the year. They were the runner-up in Region 6, but don't be fooled by that. They play in the same region as Wheeler, who's known as the top-ranked basketball team in the state, up there with Milton. And there's the matchup inside. And if he misses his own shot, he can make it again. And they draw the foul on Trainer. That's just a tall order there, gentlemen. So he'll go to the line for 2. Max, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he's perfect on the night from the stripe.
He is indeed 4 for 4.
So there's the old announcer jinx for him. Bang. So that extends the lead out to 50-48. Once again, 1:13 left on the clock. So it gets down to the final quarter. These teams are going to be in a little bit of foul trouble, maybe. Hey, there it is. So Sequoia only down by 2. Keener working the offense, driving inside, poked away. Wally's going to get it. Working inside. Puts it up, nice. Tie ball game, under a minute to go. Listen to this crowd. Nice drive and finish there by Parrish.
He has had a great third quarter.
We're at 30 seconds left to go in the third. Good defense by Kell there. Tried to get the pass to Wally, but intercepted. 20 seconds now. And Kell's going to try and take the last shot of this quarter. And doesn't go. Marshall's going to get his own rebound, and that's got to be a double. Called a
Chiefs ball.
All right. They called a jump ball. Probably should have called it just as a double dribble, but they did not. So nonetheless, the possession arrow will change. But with 6.2 seconds left to go, Sequoia's going to have to get as close as they can to an advantageous position to take a shot. Quickly to Wally. Shooter shoot, and that one's short. Do they count it? I don't see it. No. They wave it off. It took them a minute to wave it off, and they're going to discuss it. And let's see. Nope, they wave it off.
A good effort by Parker,
Good effort.
Good effort.
All right. Nothing you can do about that, folks. It's as good of a game as you can ask for. Maybe a little bit more low scoring than we thought. 52-50 our score at the end of 3. We're going to need a 4th one to decide it. Whew, everybody take a breath.
That felt like a pretty long third quarter. I don't know about you guys.
Long third quarter. And you could feel the animosity building a little bit between the teams, especially with some of those loose ball fouls. There were some that were harder than others that we've seen. And it's typically what happens in a basketball game. You keep that guy that's bumping up against you, and you just kind of want to hit him a little bit harder. And as much as people say basketball is not a contact sport, it's about as contact as a non-contact sport can be. So.
And just a note, both teams, neither teams, used a timeout in that third quarter. So both coaches looking toward the long game, knowing that it's going to come down to the wire, and they're going to need to use those timeouts strategically to get those clock stoppages and set up those plays and get those plays up in order.
I'm just really impressed by how Kell came out of the locker room.
Yes.
From the get-go, they had this, you said animosity about them and their attitude. They were not about to lose this game.
Yeah.
And they're competing right now with a 2-point lead. This is going to be a great finish, I have a feeling.
Don't move a muscle, folks. We've got 8 minutes left to decide this one. And Sequoia's going to have to make up the 2-point deficit somewhere in there. And here we go. 4 timeouts for each team. Fouls reset. Possession arrow goes back to Sequoia. It's been a great one so far. I'm Will Cooper, joined alongside Will Hogendijk. Max Swain working inside there, converted. That's Cambridge. First time we've called his name in the second half. Quick turnaround here from Sequoia, driving inside, doesn't go. Put back up, doesn't go either time. Trainer tried to get it off the rebound from Keener, but doesn't go either way. Driving to the basket the other way is Kell, and that one rolls up and in. A magician with the ball.
And that's Paris Johnson Jr.
Starting to heat up now, really driving to the basket. Sequoia drives themselves. Beautiful shot put up there by Parker. Responds, keeps it within 2.
And there's Parker's signature shot, that high glass layup. I know, I just stole those words right from Max's mouth.
You said it earlier, yeah.
Bank is open on a Wednesday night. 56-52. 7 minutes left to go. Quick pass out to Wally. Wally going to try and drive inside. Does! Puts the move on him. Back within 2. Feel the tension. Nice drive by Kell, passing it out to Marshall. Marshall just has to lay it up there. And nice defense by Sequoia. Nice move! Long 3! No, just off the side for Parker. Rebound inside. Another try, just off the front of the glass. Keener missed that one. Working back inside is Kell. Oh my. Got just enough of his hand to draw the foul. 6:11 left to go. 2 minutes quickly gone here.
But that was a crucial empty possession for Sequoia because they obviously had the crowd's favor on that great move by Parker, and 2 misses in a row does not help the momentum late in this one.
And that one is up and off. So Paris Johnson, who on the night has 14 points. He had 17 points in the last game. Not getting it done from the stripe. Checking into the game for Wally is Keener. So on the floor you've got Mitchell, Keener, Trainer, Parker. Excuse me, Wally just changing spots, no change. And there's a loose ball foul. Foul now committed for each team. 6:06 left to go. And now we have the substitution. So checking in for Trainer is Connor Harris. Harris has had a big game so far.
And I feel like that Harris and Trainer substitution have been like the only substitutions on the Chiefs side of the ball.
Yeah, aside from Mitchell getting a couple of rests because of fouls, it's pretty much been it. Slowing the game down a little bit. Only down by 2, Chiefs fans. Only down by 2. Here's a 3. That's a lead, and the 4-point play! Bring it on home, Preston
And
Parker!
who other than Preston Parker with the 3. That's 4 for 5 on the night, and every time Sequoia has needed a big 3, he's answered.
24 points on the night for the young man, looking to convert the 4-point play.
That's the second 4-point play of the night. He had that other one on the opposite side of the floor where he fell down.
Yeah, that's definitely one thing I've noticed. There has been a decent amount of fouling on 3-point shots.
And there it is. Checking back into the game is Trainer. Coming out is Connor Harris. Also notably absent from the floor for Kell is Peyton Marshall. So, once again, as we said last time he checked out of the game, this is a time to make up the points. Listen to this crowd.
And that's a big momentum shifter. After that third quarter was definitely owned by Kell. For Sequoia to get the lead back, that's got to feel good.
Wide open 3, hammered home by Kell. Aaron Smith.
And just like that, their lead disappears.
So Sequoia down by 1. Stop me if you've heard this story before, gentlemen, but this is exactly what you want and expect with Elite 8 basketball teams, right? These are 2 evenly matched teams trading blows back and forth. And listen, it's all about unsung heroes. That's the big thing. And of course, the unsung hero for Sequoia is Preston Parker, coming in averaging 11.7. He's got 25 on the night. And not going quietly into that good night is Dylan Wally, who has 18 points. Although he's a little bit under his production, they've made up a lot for Fisher Mitchell, who's been working so hard in the glass. He just hasn't found a lot of success from beyond the arc like he normally does.
Yeah, I know.
Go ahead.
I know Max is thinking this, but Preston Parker is what we've called our dark horse player. He's been that guy that maybe hasn't been getting 10-point quarters every time, but it's just getting a little by little. And then at the end of the game, you look at the scoreboard and you say, oh, he's ended up with 20 points. And, you know, he's really scored a lot of points this year. He's the 3rd most on the team. And, I mean, he's just having another typical game, 25 points. And for him to be leading Keener and Wally is not something that you see every day. And, you know, that's something you got to look forward to considering he's not a senior this year.
5:29 left on the board as we have our final period of action here. It's as good as you can get, folks. Sequoia down by 1, and they're going to take over the ball. Not a lot of foul trouble so far in this one. Kell only 2 in the quarter, Sequoia with 1. But they're going to play a little bit more defense here. Fisher Mitchell going to try a 3. Finally hits it home! Timeout by Sequoia.
Long overdue Fisher Mitchell.
I was just about to say on that last intermission we had where you were talking about how Fisher Mitchell has not been on, I was going to say I was disappointed. We were hoping for a big night from him, but that was critical. They needed something to give momentum back, and they did it. Fisher Mitchell coming in clutch time. Great to see him coming back.
Timeout, 1 shot, another timeout. That's how it's going to go with 5 minutes and 11 seconds left. Both teams have 3 timeouts.
And it's getting to the critical point where those 3 points really matter because as we mentioned in the last game, the girls' game, you start adding up those possessions, right? Because if you can get to that 2-3 possession mark with a minute left, it changes the whole game. But here we are, and Sequoia up by 2. They're hanging in there. As we mentioned in intermission, guys, it kind of felt like that we were just watching Sequoia just kind of survive. But here we're starting to see them take on their own. Wally's getting a little bit more involved. Obviously, we got done talking about Preston Parker, but if Fisher Mitchell can start to hit from beyond the arc, then this is a very dangerous Sequoia
That's a whole new team, basically.
Absolutely. So we'll send you back down to the floor here. 5:11 to go. Kell going to take over possession. 3 timeouts for each team left. Langston Hughes defeating the River Ridge Knights 53-51 in the boys' game, so the Knights are out. Of course, the Cherokee girls lost in double overtime last night in a heartbreaker. So the Sequoia Chiefs, the last remaining girls' team. See if the Sequoia boys can continue their parade. 4:55 left to go. 59-61. Wally directing traffic. Inside to Mitchell. Working against Marshall. Draws the foul. Big foul there. That's his third of the night, as Marshall's third foul of the night. Checking into the game is Connor Harris, trading places with Trainer. Once again, you mentioned Harris and Trainer kind of trading duties there in that rotation. Wally inbounding it long to Keener.
And both of them having very similar positions.
Parker, just off. Loose ball foul.
To finish that thought, both of them having very similar roles when they are in the game. A combined 2 points between them. But, you know, again, as we have said multiple times, they're both defensive players. They're not really that offensive type. And so 0 points is something you're okay with seeing if you're Coach Carden.
Hammers home the free throw. Wally, a very sound shooter. This would be his 20th point of the night if he can convert this one.
And Will, you were talking about earlier how these points, you're going to start adding up to possessions. You're going to be seeing how many possessions you're ahead. And it's a 4-point game. 2 possessions, you're going to start counting them now.
So up by 2 possessions. If they can keep Kell from converting on a couple of these, it gets real dangerous for the Longhorns. Hard foul set there on Wally, but no call. Underneath, Marshall. And let's see who the foul is on this time. I believe it's going to be against Trainer and not Mitchell, and that is the case. So Matthew Trainer picks up his 4th foul. Trainer blanked from the actual scoring. He only averages 4.9, but as you guys mentioned, Trainer known much more underneath the glass as a rebounder.
Yeah, and he's only put up 2 shots, but he's missed both of those 2 shots. But you're right, definitely a physical rebounder down low. And one thing to know, Peyton Marshall has not made a shot from the paint down in this 4th quarter.
So he does hit the free throw there, drawing it within 3.
And you know, Maximo, that's something I was thinking about. After Kell owned that 3rd quarter, I was thinking, well, if Sequoia can capitalize on Marshall and lock him down the way they did in that first half, then it's going to be a different story for them.
So still a 3-point game. Nice passing. Corner 3. Bang! Preston Parker!
28 points on the night.
Kell trying to put everything they got into this one, and once again, my oh my, Peyton Marshall continuing to bully Sequoia inside, but still a 4-point lead for the Chiefs. Mitchell fakes out Marshall, dishes it out to Wally. Wally gets it outside. Gives it to the hot hand to Parker. Nice move inside to Wally. It's blocked that time. Look out, Kell on a break. Misses. Battle inside. Mitchell gets it. 3. Yes, sir! Kyle Keener!
This place is electric.
Oh, all the way in and out for the Longhorns. Pressure here. 2:55 left to go. Another miss, inside by Marshall. That one is in. Timeout here from Kell after the run by Sequoia. Sequoia up by 5 now, gentlemen. Sequoia up by 5, 2:50 left here to go. Welcome you back inside the broadcast booth here at the War Lodge. It's getting down to the fun part of this, gentlemen. Everybody keep your nerves. We got this one. 3 timeouts left for each team. And an interesting thing to note, Kell has committed 5 fouls in this 4th quarter. So they got to be real careful here because they're going to get to the point where Sequoia is already in the bonus. And if they continue to commit fouls, we know how good Sequoia is from the stripe.
Yeah, that's right. They've been really great tonight. And that'll get Keener into double digits with 12 points. But, I mean, Preston Parker, story of the night, 28 points. He is having just a fantastic night.
And as I was, those last 2 minutes, I was trying to keep stats here, but there was like 20 stats in the span of 30 seconds. I think that's honestly a big lesson here. These teams are playing under so much pressure. 2:50 left. This War Lodge is as packed as I've ever seen it. And they have the pressure of a whole state tournament I think the team that stays calm the most throughout this whole last 250 and doesn't try to force shots, even though you probably will force a couple, but force the least shots, will probably come out on top.
I would say so. We'll send it back down to the floor for the last 2 minutes and 50 seconds of action here. Nice movement from Sequoia. Kell not putting pressure on yet. No reason to foul yet. Only down by 5. Nice movement. You see lots of movement here from Sequoia. Keener there was looking around. Sure, somebody was going to pick his pocket, but didn't happen. Sequoia going to be content to burn a little time with these possessions. 2:15 left.
Yeah, I was about to say they're doing the same thing that the girls were, trying to waste time.
And there's the pressure. And bang! Hammers home the dunk is Cambridge. Now they're back within 3. Sequoia's got to be careful balancing the conservative time burning. And nothing you can do about that one. Aaron pass, Connor Harris goes too long, and you hear the Kell fan base react.
And that's a bad sequence for Sequoia, giving up a wide open layup, or dunk, excuse me, and then just throwing that one out of bounds. They got to settle down. Only a 3-point lead, so Kell can still get back in this very quickly.
They had to stop play there for a moment. Trainer was trying to check into the game, but was not on his spot in time.
Is there an earthquake? There might be an earthquake. I don't know. This crowd is going wild.
Registering on the Richter scale here. 1:40 left. Sequoia still a 3-point lead. Nice movement here from Kell along 2. Sequoia going to retain possession. Once again, Sequoia still in the bonus. Will play large here in the last minute and a half of the game. Boxing in there. And a timeout called by Sequoia there.
So both teams now with 2 timeouts left.
Minute 20 left to go in the game. And, you know, that last possession where Sequoia was so conservative with the ball and then turned it over and they were able to convert that 2 points, it puts a little sour taste in your mouth because that is such a big change of score there as they're down by 1 now. And that just kind of leaves you feeling just a little bit sick to your stomach because you know that if Sequoia had put up a shot, at least they have a chance of converting those, especially with how good the shooters have been shooting here in the second half.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, you know, Max just said, and he's been saying, just take as many shots as you can. And playing conservative is good, but playing too conservative, I mean, you got to remember, there's still a minute 20 on the clock, and, you know, that doesn't sound like a lot, but in basketball, that can be a lot, especially when there's 4 timeouts still on the table. So you want to conserve it, but you also don't want to conserve it to the point where you waste the possession like they did there. So a mistake by them, but fortunately Sequoia is still in the lead. 1 point isn't a ton with this much time remaining, but Sequoia's definitely not out of it. Kell isn't either, though.
And as we all know, when you get back in the waning moments of a game, those mistakes are amplified just because of the fact you don't have time to fix it. So let's see what Sequoia can do. Kell going to put on the pressure. This is a well-experienced Sequoia team. And nice job inside by Marshall to poke it away from Mitchell. Kell down by 1. Working inside. Mitchell blocks it. And it is Sequoia's ball on the jump ball. Beautiful job there from Mitchell, and you hear the crowd giving him his right-earned applause there as we are now down to 57 seconds. 2 timeouts left for each team. Sequoia in the bonus. Have to push the ball inside to Mitchell. Nice moving it around to Wally. Back into Mitchell. Could have been a foul there, not called. Continuing to move the ball well is Sequoia. And it is Kell ball. We can't see what happened down there in the corner, folks. I do apologize.
I think he stepped out of bounds.
Trying to get the best vantage point, but 1 point difference. Timeout called. 23.9 seconds left to go, gentlemen.
And Will and Max, that's another example of Sequoia may be a little too conservative on that possession. But, I mean, you got to give credit to Kell. They had fantastic defense. They were really not letting Sequoia get anywhere. So, I mean, I don't know what to say.
And it's tough, right? If you're a coach, you know, what do you tell your guys, right? Because you have the lead, and you felt Kell kind of pulling at that a little bit. And it's hard not to tell him to play conservative with that. But you'd like to see him put up a shot there. But they were doing very well moving the ball around, to be fair.
They were. It was pretty impressive. But just the atmosphere in this building and these last 23 seconds is going to make a huge impact. Although I think Kell has handled it pretty well the whole game. Example, Marshall at the line has made 6 of his 8 free throws, and he's been getting harassed verbally by this student section. I'm just, nerves are through the ceiling.
There's only one way to decide this one, and that's with 24 more seconds and a point that separates them.
And I don't know what their strategy would be coming out of this one. I don't know if they're going to try to hold the ball the whole time. We saw how that worked out for Sequoia a couple times, a decent amount of turnovers, but they could hold it and try to get a buzzer beater maybe.
Well, the other thing to remember, too, is Sequoia has fouls to give. Kell does not.
I was going to say, Kell's doing a good job of playing defense, but not too aggressive defense to where they give Sequoia free throws.
Yes, and they have to be careful down here not to take a charge. 15 seconds. Here's a whistle and a timeout called by Kell. I suppose to take a look at the defense. Or, by the way he's coaching, I would assume that Mr. Marshall did not do whatever the play design was, cutting inside. So 13.1 seconds now, gentlemen. No timeouts left for Kell, 2 for Sequoia. You can't take them with you, so if you need to call it, go ahead and call it. And a 1-point separation between these two teams. A prayer meeting going down here in the student section here as the brothers of Mullets get together and decide the fate of this Sequoia Chiefs team. Of course, the Kell faithful have come out to our left side, done a fantastic job, and looking across the way here, opposite of the camera facing us, it is absolutely packed. It's a beautiful atmosphere here on a Wednesday night, and the most justice we can do for it is to let the crowd speak for themselves. .13 seconds. Marshall draws the foul. He'll go to the line for 2. Foul called against Wally. That is Wally's first of the night. Tie game. Lead. 11 seconds. Foul against Kell. Sequoia in the bonus will go to the line. 8.9 seconds left. Sequoia down by 1 to the line. Goes Keener. Keener on the night, 12 points. A hush will fall over the Sequoia fans. In. It is a 1+1 for the lead with 8.9.
And one thing to note, Kell does not have any more timeouts after this.
Lead. Timeout, Sequoia. We'll bring you back inside the broadcast booth as the Chiefs have a lead of 1. Folks, sometimes in sports and as announcers, you don't have much to say, and that's because the crowd says it for you. So for this final 8.9 seconds, we will be relatively quiet so you can enjoy the moment with us. And as I always ask, how can you not be romantic about high school sports?
Man, to say tensions are high is an understatement. I can only imagine what the players are feeling. I mean, the fact that Marshall and Keener both made both of their free throws
100%.
is so impressive.
Crazy. Under all the pressure, the weight of the whole season was resting on both their shoulders, and they aced it. Insanity. Wow.
And this is the point where both teams are drawing up their final plays, going to their guys saying, you're taking that last shot. You got to get him open. I mean, the pressure is only going to get higher from here.
8.9 seconds. Kell has no fouls to give, no timeouts to burn. Sequoia has 2 fouls to give and 1 timeout to burn. Kell will get the ball. 8.9 seconds. War Lodge, take it away. Wally fouls. 6.2 seconds. To inbound for Kell, Jalen Colin. Checking into the game, trainer for Connor Harris. Clock rolling. Foul, Wally. 3.8 seconds. No more fouls to give. Colin to inbound. Timeout, Sequoia. We will bring you in the booth for one final time. 3.8 seconds. Nobody has anything left to give. If Sequoia fouls again, that will put Kell in the bonus. Kell has no fouls to give. Sequoia is in the bonus. 3.8 seconds left. The decision for Sequoia, do you let them shoot or do you send them to the line? If you send them to the line, you control the clock.
I think it really depends on who gets the ball. That's the first thing you look at. And where they get the ball. If they get the ball right at the three-point line or in perfect shooting position, then you have to foul. You can't give them an open shot. If they're far away and they're trying to launch up a shot, I might consider fouling depending on who it is. So many variables come into play.
This is the GHSA 6A playoffs, Elite 8 basketball. Pleasure to have you here with us. I've been Will Cooper, Will Hogendijk, and Max Swain as well. Ball game. Your Sequoia Chiefs are headed to the Final Four. They will have to clear the court because there was a foul for Kell. They will have to clear the court.
Just as quickly as the students stormed the court, the principal came over and said, get back in the stands.
Van Alstyne showing some speed.
1.6 seconds will be placed on the clock. Sequoia in the bonus will go to the line.
It's Kyle Keener once again.
What a block by Trainer, though. He got some air on that. That was impressive.
If Kyle Keener makes both shots, it's a three-point game. With only 1.6 seconds remaining, it is crucial that he make both shots. Because if Kell is able to put up a shot, then the three-pointer would win it. No. And it is a 1+1. And that will do it.
Send him on the court.
Chiefs are headed to the Final Four. Celebrate it, boys. And horns down prevail in Hickory Flat.
Two Final Four tickets for the Chiefs. How does that sound?
Sounds like a fantasy, Will. You're joking.
The boys Sequoia Chiefs came into this one 11-2 here at the War Lodge. They'll finish the season 12-2 at the War Lodge. The Lady Chiefs came into this 10-3 at the War Lodge. They'll leave 11-3. Both of them have punched their ticket into the Final Four. The boys will face Wheeler. The girls will face Kell coming up in the coming days. Gentlemen, final thoughts.
What a game.
What a game.
That was fun to watch. That was fun to be a part of.
Preston Parker, 28 points. All I have to say. All I have to say.
Well, gentlemen, it's been an absolute honor here tonight. Everyone take part in the festivities as your community gathers around both of your Chiefs teams. It's a great day to be a Chief in Canton, Georgia. Folks, I've been Will Cooper, joined alongside Will Hogendijk and Max Swain as well. Until next time, everybody take care and go Chiefs.